Yes, we're joined by Ross McCormack!
Yes! It's been a long time waiting, mate, innit?
How about you, Ross? Right?
Brilliant, mate. Can't complain.
You must be delighted that we brought Steve McLaren, the Jamaica manager, over.
He sent us here for me. Especially for you, mate. He said make sure you put that on for him.
Can you give me his accent?
No, he's a Jamaican, come on, just say it.
Alright, mate.
Fucking Gerrard, doesn't know.
I'll tell you one thing though, this is what I've been looking forward to for a long time. He was one.
Even though you're unfollowed on Instagram, you obviously not been looking forward to that.
No,
it's a bit sore, innit? It's a bit sore.
Roscoe, I've explained it was, I can't go into it here, but there was reasons behind it. I'm quite cute when it comes to my business, how I do stuff like that. I know cute, certainly the face. But I must say, when he was, you know about when first team players, one of the best you could get for young players coming through.
Did you feel hurt the fact that you did look after him as a young kid? And he done that to unfollowed you on Instagram. That when after he done the day after the hydro, he said he unfollowed you, wasn't it?
Well, that's it. Sometimes people just lose the plot and their head just goes a wee bit
too big for yourself.
No, do you know what? I actually had a wee present for him, but I was debating whether or not I was going to give him it.
No,
because we're in Leeds. I think a lot of people like to see him in it, so I'm going to give him it anyway.
Oh, look at this.
A wee retro Leeds shirt for you, mate.
Is that the man you bought?
Tony Yabo. No, it's Tony Yabo. How old do you think am I?
Oh, by the way, look at that.
Stick it on then, get
I'm going to put it, that's an absolute cracker.
Put it on right now.
No, I'm going to put it in my t-shirt. I can't get my daddies. I said that in Gran Canaria.
No, shouldn't you watch the mic?
It's obviously a double XL because I had to wear it. So
that'll fit me.
Maybe a bit
tight with me, mate.
If Gordon Strachan and Davy Hopkins had a kid, look.
Oh, Roscoe, thanks very much, mate. Do you think the Leeds fans are happy with me in that, you know?
That's the worst day in Leeds United history, the fact he's wearing that tap on a podcast. They've had a few dark days, mate, but I think this is the darkest day in Leeds history.
The viewers have just switched there, mate.
What a setup this is. But you can smell his arse off his couch, can't you?
You've been busy?
What you have done this couch?
You're up here on Molly?
I only piss couches, mate.
You always had a pal who'd piss a couch, didn't you?
Always, mate, always.
Be that pal, eh?
I can't confirm or deny, mate.
What a setup.
So there is the main city, innit? The main bit where people go to visit Leeds. Where's Ellen Road for here?
You can actually see the top of, well, not from here, but if you go outside there, you can see the top of the, see like the wee stupid pointy bits. You can see the top of the stand. It's literally only a mile from here, mate. If I'm working and stuff, I just walk to the side.
You stay here then, mate?
Aye.
Do you like this better than back home, or do you just prefer?
Yeah, I do, mate. I do. I like going back. I like going back and seeing my mates and my mum and dad and that for like maybe a week and that, but then I start to get a bit. I like to be away for everything, mate. I just do my own thing. So. And
the kids are in London.
They live in London, mate. Yes.
You boy Palace, just mate.
Yeah. He's at Palace. The youngest. We were speaking about earlier. He's a goalkeeper, so I always said, if you're going to be a goalkeeper, you've got to be fucking nuts, haven't you? Lost the plot, so he should be all right.
So why did you decide to live? Was this your favourite, like in terms of when you living in your career where you lived?
Yeah, I know more people here. I've got a lot more mates and stuff, and more options to sort of do things like work-wise and stuff like that. So I thought it'd be the easiest. Plus, I had a really good time here. So
he's a hero here, isn't he?
Absolute legend, and no wonder. But just before we get onto the Leeds stuff, because it's going to blow the minds of people, but you want to get into the media side of it, Roscoe? Yeah.
As I say, I enjoy speaking about the game. We spoke about coaching and that. I don't think I've got probably the patience for.
Do you know what? You've gone into that, mate?
No, I don't want to do that. But the media side of the game, yes. I don't know, obviously I'm probably suited to radio, which, you know what I mean?
You two should hear your own radio show by you.
But no, I wouldn't mind getting into that. I've done a wee bit more recently and I'll keep probably trying to do a wee bit more again.
You're Sky Sports News, mate.
I know, mate, aye.
That's quite a big thing to do so early on in your sort of media career since you've started doing it.
It was intense. I felt like everybody, even though we like the big hitters at Sky Sports News and stuff, I felt like they were, watching. So, as I say, first 10 minutes I was sitting there, you probably could fucking smelt my ass on that sofa, mate. Fucking hell.
Just ruining sofas.
Fucking had a stutter in that, I didn't know what to say.
Not involved, certainly can't get
I know, mate, what a camouflage for that kid.
I'll just melt right into that, wouldn't I?
But that's live for me, so that's tough to go into that. How does that even come about? Like, have you got an agent or that now, or do you just get phoned directly for Sky?
No, I've not got an agent, but I know a guy who works for Sky Sports News, Tim, who's probably one of the sort of main men. He lives in Leeds, so he's asked me to do a few different things with him. And then he messaged me saying, do you fancy coming on the transfer show? I was like, aye, definitely. And it's easy, just the train station's there, 2 hour direct train and you're into London, so.
First class?
They gave me first class, mate, or I'd have been in the boot, I think,
We
mate.
came down here in the back of a fucking transit, didn't we?
I still feel sick for it, mate. Travel sick. Roscoe, would you, I know it's only early stages, but would you like to cover the Scottish game?
I think, I don't know. I watch a lot of things and listen to a lot of things up there. I think it's quite saturated up there. See all the different players try to get all the different gigs and that. Plus, they probably know more about me than. Even though, listen, I still watch Scottish football. I still know quite a bit about it. A lot of the players coming through and all the rest of it. But there's probably people that are better suited to doing more in the Scottish game than me. I would have to do a bit more homework.
Did you watch more? Do you watch more English football now than you do Scottish football? Huh?
Yeah, because you don't get much
Don't
get much coverage. Even the old Fulham game the other day, I went to like a
Trippers, you said.
pub. That was the night before. I went to a pub round the corner and they weren't even showing it. I was like, mate, get the game on.
It's so
and he's like,
strange,
who's
that.
playing? And I was like, they're taking the piss out of me here. Who's playing? Do you know what I mean? It's the biggest game on the planet.
See, although you did play with big clubs down here, do you still see that as like the biggest game that you maybe involved in your
Easy,
career?
mate, easy. Yeah, it's like when you go on holiday. First thing you see is a Celtic or Rangers top in it. So for me, it's the biggest game in the world.
You came through, mate. You came through at Rangers, but am I right in saying, were you a Celtic fan growing up?
We're still rolling. I was, mate. I was. I had a season ticket and that, but
Who'd you grow up watching, Celtic?
so my last game when we had the season ticket was, remember St Johnstone at home. Celtic stopped Rangers getting 10 in a row. I think Larsson and Brattbach scored.
That's right.
So that was my last game as a season ticket because I went full time the next
Rangers,
year.
So you were going with Rangers in like a couple of months and you were there watching Celtic stop them win the league?
Aye, mate. Aye.
What age are you then?
15, I think I went full time. I was on the pitch after the game stealing the grass and putting it in my pocket. Fucking pitch invasion.
Parkhead?
Aye.
Oh yeah.
See, on that, did Celtic never come in for you at that young age? Nah.
No, but when I was like 8, I went for a trial up at, I think they trained at the time at maybe St Roch's. I'm sure it was St Roch's. So went there for a trial with the under 10s and they said I was too small, which basically means...
At 8?
Aye, basically means...
How tall do you need to be at fucking 8?
You know, basically you're shite. They don't want you, so I ended up going to Rangers.
Was there ever a thing like back then when Rangers first come in? You always wonder this when Rangers, your dad or that first tells you, by the way, Rangers want you to go. Is there a wee bit of, nah, can I go to Rangers, or just an opportunity?
See, if they were first came in, my dad would probably have said, why don't you just wait?
The fact that you've
And
been
we'll
at
go to
Celtic
Celtic.
already.
But the fact that I'd already been sort of knocked back from Celtic, it was like, well, take the next best thing, you know what I mean? It's like Slaney on a night out. Talks to a bird, gets pied and goes on to the next fucking worst one.
Then the lights come on, then she patches
And then
us
the lights come on, it's a stampede for me to get out. Oh,
Somebody pulls the fire exit when they see.
But I'm telling you now, see that when the lights going at 3 AM, that's got to stop.
Oh,
the amount of birds that I've just seen sprinting away from me. Oh, it's got to stop me now. See, Roscoe, see you coming through Rangers, who were the sort of main coaches that helped you through that time, and who were the players in the coming through with?
Coaching wise was Bomber Brown, because see when I went full time there was 7 years with my age group, and I was probably the worst one at that time.
What?
So even like contract wise and stuff, boys went in their first year they were getting 350 quid a week and 35 grand signing on fee. But I got a 1 year deal on 60 quid a week because Bomber wanted to take a chance on me. He thought he's got something. I think he could maybe see a lot of my sort of work ethic and maybe the way he was as a kid. So he took a chance on me. But to be fair, as soon as I went in, I was starting every game for the 18s.
Were you?
And I ended up...
Who were some of the boys that were getting the 3 and 4 year deals?
Bob Davidson.
Remember, he was a good player.
you were taught about
You two played up front together. You were brilliant.
That's what I mean. I was way worse than him.
Yeah.
It wasn't even close, mate. He was strong. He was quick.
Yeah.
He could finish.
He's a man, mate, wasn't he?
He was good looking. He had everything. But as soon as I went in, I kind of overtook him. No, right away, but in the first season anyway. And that was all down to Bomber pushing me because, like I say, he believed in me. So he's the one. I get asked it a lot. Who's the biggest influence? if you forget like your dad and take it to sort of
Aye.
a football side of it, there's no competition.
How did he influence you, Roscoe? Was he because he's notoriously has been hard on kids? Was he the same with you?
Yeah, he was hard on me. But even things that people don't know, he got moved up to the 21s when I was 16 or 17 and Tommy McLean came in and took the 18s. I couldn't get a game for the 18s and I was captain of the 21s. So I was leading out fucking Frank de Boer when he's coming back from injury and that, and I was on the bench for the 18s. I'm on the bench on the Saturday and starting as captain on the Monday night and training with the first team all week.
How does that happen?
Why do you think Tommy McLean never liked you as much? He was an angry man, Tommy McLean, wasn't he?
He didn't want to cross him either, but I don't know. Just certain coaches just like certain players, certain attributes and that. And as I say, I wasn't strong, I wasn't quick.
But technically, like, mate, you must have been head the most.
Yeah, but that was also. I'm not going to sort of link that to Bomber again, but he did always make a point of telling me to do extras. I was in the indoor hall at the training ground. We used to, from when I was like 14, we used to train at 7 o'clock at night. I used to get there at 5:30 and I was in the indoor hall hitting free kicks and shooting. And same again when I went full time, constantly working on left foot, even stupid things like, see if you play 2-touch off the wall, keeping it up, stupid things like that. I was just always doing extra.
And he drummed it into you. You need to do extra all the time.
And he didn't embarrass me, but see when we used to do wee things as a squad under 18s and that in the indoor hall, of like someone would drill it into you, you would have like a wee tight square round about you. You had to trap it in the square and hit it with like your weak foot as a ping into the wee tiny goals. And I was always the one that he would get to do the
demo.
The demo, aye. So
Roscoe, I always think, see that if you're not playing for 18s, was there ever a stage you start doubting yourself and going, I'm not going to break in or make it at Rangers?
Well, I think possibly aye, but I think the difference with that was the fact that I was playing in the 21s. And even probably a few months later training with the first team. So I kind of knew, I didn't really care about the 18s at the time because I was like, well, I'm already not ahead of them, but I'm already in the next step. I'm playing 21s. Like, do you know what I mean? As I said, Frank de Boer's coming back from an injury, like away to Livingston. I'm the captain, and he's standing behind me and stuff. I'm only 17 or 16, 17.
That's wild.
It was nuts.
Because I remember you in the youth team. Obviously, you're a bit younger than us.
Younger, aye.
And maybe you scored the free kick at Barrowfield, beat us 2-1.
Yeah.
But did you
I
play
remember
against
that. I
each
remember
other?
the other game.
I was on the
though.
bench. I was a younger kid at the time, but you were Charlie's age, obviously, weren't you? So it was good battles. And was you up against McGhee in that point at that time?
McGhee was playing, and I tell you who was very good. The wee ginger guy in midfield.
Charlie Grant.
Aye.
Oh,
He was an animal, mate, wasn't he?
Yeah,
An
I'd stay away from him the whole game, mate. But there was another game, remember we played at Ibrox in the Youth Cup.
Yeah, that's
like
right.
12,000 fans there. That was ridiculous. 16 playing there, 12,000
That's
fans
right,
at
so it
Ibrox.
was.
I think it was one each. I think everyone was just nervous as each other, mate. But nah, they were good games. But yous were, to be fair, Celtic were better than us. They played, mate, easy.
That was a good kind of.
So what players, see if they both teams there, what players go and break through into the first team? Because we are seeing a hell of a lackey at the moment.
Yeah.
For Rangers team and Celtic team, who the players that break through?
So if I go to the Celtic side of it, my age group was McGregor, McGhee, Maloney was a bit older. I think maybe Craig Beattie might have been a year older or something. Big Marshy. So you would see a lot getting into the first team there, but it was quite rare at Rangers because
Charlie Adam.
Charlie was a year above. Burkey was probably 3 years above. So Alan Hutton was probably 2 years above. They were the main three to go into the first team. But then after that, my age group and below, nobody seemed to. We'd train with the first team every now and again, and be on the bench because of that stupid 21 rule. But you weren't there on merit. Do you know what I mean?
I know, but you made a few quid, mate.
What's 1,200 quid a win?
You must say.
And they won every week.
How much you celebrate when they won?
What,
Cheerleader.
Even for a sub?
Have your sub, you got 1,200 quid, mate.
Have
you got in the picture at 1,500?
Oh my
If you understand, it was
God.
6.
Brilliant, mate. £60 a week, 1,200 win bonus.
Where did you grow up, Roscoe?
Pollock, you know, silver burners.
Oh, you play Paul? Yeah, I that way. So when did you first get the call up to train with the first team? Well, and also on that, what do you think Bomber seen in you to take you up to the reserves and make you captain or not?
Probably.
Has he ever told you since?
No, he's never said. Probably the ginger hair, I think, mate.
I was just going to say that looks after the ginger hair. Minority.
No, I don't. Honestly, I don't know. As I said, because there was boys with better attributes than me.
Mate, I think you're selling yourself short. Because any time we played you, I always thought you were their best player.
Yeah, but that was maybe as I got to your sort of 17 and stuff like. But see, when I went full time at 15 and 16, the boys that we spoke about, Bob Davidson, he was in my position. He was better. Even people like Daryl Duffy. Remember
Daryl Duffy,
the striker? So he was only a couple of years above, and he was an absolute. He was basically Bob Davidson on steroids at that point. he was just bigger than him, stronger than him, quicker than him, and I sort of jumped to that level as well. But the games that you're talking about, that was probably after I had maybe 2 years in full time or something.
Whose boots did you do?
McLeish's.
But the managers.
Probably why I got
another ginger.
Probably why I got.
Oh, the ginger stick together at Rangers, innit? But you'd have been brought in at
What's
Rangers.
Shad signed there, man? What size of feet was McLeish?
3, you said.
I used to wear the copas, so they start as a 6, wear them once or a 10. Don't they? Fucking hell. Just stretched.
Somebody says Bob Davidson done his boots and you done his pants. Is that true?
Roscoe, who's when you got to the first team? Did you feel really nervous? And who were the big names?
Because we always talk about this, don't we?
We always say, like, when we say, and even Charlie McGregor, who obviously goes on to a big career, said, like,
Aiden said the same. Even
Aiden. Aiden said the same, where you get called up, but you're almost like back. You're going, oh my god, you're terrified. Were you? I don't know if you would be the same though with your kind of personality.
I was the first couple of times, but I was a chirpy character when I was growing up, so I kind of not get used to it, but I just sort of, I don't know, I got used to it basically. But the first couple of times when I went round, it was like fucking hell. Like Fergie was there, Arteta, I think Tugai was still there, Dado Purso,
wow,
the De Boers.
How did the date with Rangers with telling you that you were playing with the first team? Because we honestly would just come in and stick a bit of paper up on the result, and everyone would rush to see it was reserve list, first team list.
No, it was I think it would be like Bomber, or when Tommy McLean took over, like they would come into the change room and say, oh, you're up with the first team or whatever.
Aye.
But like I say, I was quite lucky because I think it's 7. The big thing about the first team at Rangers was, I don't know what it's like at Celtic, but see when you change from a youth team player to a first team player, you get moved into the first team dressing room and you get your initials on your training
Is that
kit.
straight away?
So the manager would then say to Jimmy Bell, you're going to be here, he's going to be here full time now. Then that's when the abuse for Jimmy Bell would start. Fuck you, Dane, up here, you don't deserve to be here.
Even when the kit man's doing
John Clark was the same. He always used to say, like, you're never a proper Celtic player until you make 50 appearances, which I quite liked. See the names you mentioned there, Roscoe, like your Barry Ferguson, Arteta, Tugai. Well, see when you first go into the first team, are they right on you right away, or?
Not really. Some of them are quite quiet, to be fair. But Fergie was. But it was also good that there was a lot of players in the first team squad at that sort of period in time who played a lot of games for the first team, but it also came through the youth system, like your Bob Malcolms, Stevie Hughes,
Maurice Ross.
Maurice Ross, even to an extent, like the names I said there before, Burkey and Hutz, they were proper first team players, so it was a lot easier to transition than, for talking sake, if you were the first one to make that step. You know what I mean?
Do you remember the first time Barry Ferguson went off his nut?
Not, listen, he would just moan every time he gave the ball away. So, but to me, that was quite good, because then you know that you can't give the ball away. You had to be on it every single day. But he was, sometimes he was a wee bit. It was particularly hard on Charlie Adam, to be honest. I felt, but Fergie would probably say it's tough love, because he'd probably seen a lot of what Charlie Adam could do. Did
you see Fergie? Was it not just like young boys? Would it be like, would he shout at the Boer and guys like that? Is it?
I met everyone. Everyone. But to be, I get asked all the time, best player you played with and stuff like that. It's a country mile, Fergie.
Is it?
People say he passes the ball sideways, never gives it away. He was just a joke, mate.
Even
an absolute joke.
And Tugai.
Easy, mate. Tugai was skillful. Like you would watch him, and he'd be doing what I would call the fucking pointless stuff, like flicking up and keeping it on his head and behind his neck and round the world. It doesn't make you a player, but don't get me wrong, he was a very good player, but Fergie was a different level, mate.
Just before we get into you being a first team player, just a bit of the youth, going away with Scotland, Charlie told a story about your suit.
He did, aye. I was going to wear it today. Mate, you couldn't see my fingers.
Was it his dad that went you?
Back in the day, you always go big
Massive
massive suits. I don't know why they done it to the young boys.
Pinstripe suit, and then they gave me a tie.
Was it pinstripe?
Your dad must have been an influencer back in the day. Stuck it up on his Instagram and everyone copied it.
They gave us a tie, mate. I didn't know how to do the tie, so the knot was about that size, mate. I couldn't get it in between the collar. I was like, how do you tighten this?
Yeah, was Midge your pinstripe suit?
Pinstripe suit.
Tosh McKinley designed the suits, didn't he? He loves a pinstripe, man. Was Midge in your Scotland too?
Yeah, we had some.
What was Midge like?
Chaos, mate. He charged into my room one night under 17s. I opened the door, he's ran past me, he's ran past Bob Davidson, didn't say anything to anybody, took one bounce off the bed and two-footed the lampshade, smashed it and walked back out. But just done that, walked back out as if nothing had happened. As if nothing had happened.
He was wild back in the day, mate, wasn't he?
Him and, you might know him, Dundee, Gary Fraser.
I grew up with two of them.
Them two together, mate, oh my God. Gary Fraser actually came to Rangers.
So he did, that's right.
I didn't see much of him because Bomber hated him right away. Bomber was big on, when the ball comes in, you get a hold of it as a striker, take your touch, lay it off and all that. And I think it was second session, the ball kept coming to Gary Fraser and he'd try and like spin it round the corner first time or lay it off first time, and Bomber went, what are you doing? What are you doing? Take a touch, two touch. And he says, two touch? I'm not a two touch player. Bomber says, just fuck off in. Didn't see him again, mate. Didn't see him again.
See that, mate, do you know what I found when I went up to the Celtic for right away, it stood out was the standard right away. See, when you go up to the Rangers first team, can you believe what the standard actually is like?
It was, that was probably the most intimidating thing. No actually training with the players, but actually trying to get to that. And I never did, that's why I left, but try to get to that level.
It's every day, mate, innit?
What is it they done that you couldn't do? Was it the intensity they trained at? Was it the quality? What was it? Because you had good quality.
I don't actually know. I think
mentality maybe,
and also probably just consistency. I think at that age, a lot of players, 17, 18, 19, a lot of players can do a lot of things, but try to get, if you're going to play for Rangers or Celtic back then especially, you had to be able to do all of them things but be able to do them all the time. Whereas I might do something where the coaching staff and that would go, oh fucking, he's got a bit, this kid, but you weren't doing it consistently enough. Do you know what I mean? So you had to, that was the hardest part, probably producing it, like Slaney said, every single day, repetition, and it's hard at that age.
Need to ask you about the debut. We're obsessed with this on the podcast. When do you know you're making your debut? Do they shape up the day before you sub? Do they tell you you're going to go on? How does it come about?
I didn't know, mate. I think I'd been on the bench a few times and hadn't came on. But I thought if I was ever going to get a chance, it could be now, because I think they were 4-0 up at home to Motherwell. And I thought, he might put a couple of young kids on here. And I think a couple of the sort of people who were ahead of me in the pecking order, maybe even like your Burkies or people like, I think they were missing through injury that game. I'm sure, I'm not certain, but I think probably the next in line then would have been me. So when they go 4-0 up, I'm thinking, oh come on, take a couple of the big hitters off, give them a rest. But you never actually know. And I get the call back when I was warming up. I think it was assistant manager Andy Watson, I like shouted down, but it was that loud that you couldn't hear him. So I didn't know he was shouting, but I just assumed it was like one of the first team players behind me.
You always talk about this, don't you? You think it's somebody behind me.
So I've turned round and went, he's shouting at you. And he was about to, and Andy Watson's like, and I was like, I'm actually going on here. And I think I got the last 15 minutes come on for Arteta, so.
I didn't you ever get that feeling again in football? Your debut, getting told that feeling that hits your heart?
First start.
The first start, was that
the first start is, for me, was just as nervous. And do you know what made it worse? It was only a few weeks after my debut. We were away to Dunfermline, and I only had studs, and I wasn't allowed to wear studs on that 3G pitch.
Oh no!
Oh my God!
Michael Moles had to give me a pair of his Copas. Well, I was wearing Michael Moles' boots.
Oh my God!
That's amazing.
I swear, mate.
Did you say have no boots, and did he come up and give you them, or did you?
I think it was probably Jimmy. Probably went to him and said, "Listen, Roscoe's only get studs. Is there any chance? Because you're the same size."
Your heart must have.
And then even then, he gets sent off. That was his last ever game for Rangers. My first ever start, his last ever game, and he gets sent off, I think, after 25 minutes. So I'm up front myself.
You scored that game, didn't you?
Penalty, yeah.
Penalty?
What ball to take the penalty?
Mate, grabbed it right away. I don't understand why people don't do it now.
A chance to get off the mark, mate.
See, there's a team that hasn't got a designated penalty taker, or the penalty taker's not playing. Grab the ball and don't give anybody it.
Who's the boys on the pitch at the time you're taking the penalty?
Fernando was playing. Burkey was playing. There was a lot of first team, but I just took the ball and I was like, no chance.
See, on your debut in that, was your dad there?
Yeah.
See, a Man Celtic fan?
He's a Celtic fan. I wouldn't say he's like a proper mad fan, but that's his team.
And he came for your debut in that?
Yeah, he was at, to be fair, most games where I was on the bench, he was at the games.
You never made your debut for Celtic, so just leave this one to us too. When I made my debut at Celtic, I remember after in the dressing room, it was everybody gave me a round of applause. Can you remember after how the boys were with you in the dressing room?
Do you know what? I actually can't remember.
No.
I'll be honest.
Was there anyone there that took you under their wing?
Not really, but you do learn. Like, we were quite lucky. So as I said, we had some boys that had been through that sort of pathway, but also you had people there who sort of liked the younger boys. Like for me, Thomas Buffel was brilliant. Fernando Rickson was Fernando Rickson, and them two especially were really good with the young boys. So not took you under your wing, but they always made a point to ask you how you were, and that goes a long way, doesn't it?
How were the Bear brothers?
I didn't say 2 words, mate.
Who we sit next in the dressing room?
Big Bob Malcolm, and then...
Oh, you're looking a million next to him as well. So you're buzzing.
Aye, Big Bob, what a guy.
How was he?
Oh, excellent, mate. He came to Motherwell when I went there as well.
He was brilliant
just,
at Motherwell,
unbelievable guy. And then you remember Oliver Bernard, the left back. He ended up coming and sitting in between me and Bob, and he was quite funny, to be fair. But there was a good dressing room back then. They had a lot of British boys, and even the foreign lads were decent.
Big McLeish, the manager.
I just see onto the following season. You obviously make your debut, then you get your goal. See, then on to the following season, you get limited opportunity. Is that right?
Yeah.
How does that happen?
Well, there was a couple of reasons. The first one, what we spoke about earlier, consistency. I wouldn't say that I wasn't good enough to come off the bench in that, but that's obviously what the coaching staff thought. But I got an injury. I think I got an injury early doors when we were with Scotland, I think under 19s. The fat pad on my heel was tearing away for like the muscle or something, and I've never actually told people what happened. Even the physios and that at Rangers, I just said it must have happened during the game. But after we played with Scotland 19s, we sneaked out for a night out, but we had to dreepy for the 3rd floor. There was about 12 of us dreepying out, mate, jumping down. I didn't think anything of it, mate. Woke up the next morning, couldn't walk. I was like, oh my, what am I going to tell people here? I just say it happened in the game. And that's what I done, but it was dripping out a window for a night out, mate.
What's McLeish like as a manager, especially with young boys?
He's all right. As I said, he was quite... he wasn't very vocal, I would say, but he had a couple of really good coaches with him. There's a Dutch guy called Jan Wouters.
I've heard everyone raves about him.
His training sessions, his passing drills and that, mate, were different class. So that probably done him good, because he didn't do any of the training, McLeish. Unless maybe do a wee bit of shape on a Friday. But apart from that, he didn't do much. And he was quite quiet, especially with the younger lads.
Was see the 05-06 season, that's when you start making your breakthrough, more opportunities. How's that? Do you have a good pre-season? Do you start believing yourself more? Or
I did have a good pre-season. I maybe scored maybe 4 or 5 in pre-season. And like I say, I think Moles had left, Ronald de Boer had left. Even Nacho, I know he went on to have a good Rangers career, but at the time I'm looking at it going, well,
got a chance, yeah.
That's fine, I can get a wee bit closer to him than I could a Moles or a de Boer.
We need to talk about the Porto goal.
Mate.
Talk us again, had you been involved with the squad Champions League up to that, but not been involved? Am I right in saying that? Been involved but not got on the pitch?
Yeah, I think I might have been on the bench for maybe 1 or 2 of the games.
The bonuses got for £1,200 as well, don't they?
Oh mate, Jesus Christ.
That's wild, mate.
It was something stupid like
so
7. It was like So in the qualifying round, we got 25 grand to beat Famagusta. I think Famagusta to get into the group stages. And then it was something like, I don't know, 3 or 4 grand a point or something like that.
Something like that. I think it's 3 grand a point.
But then when it got to it and we had a realistic chance of getting through, they sat us down and said, listen, see if you get out of this group here, see all the... Because you didn't get your bonuses like game by game. They would save it until like the end of the year and give it a lump. They said, see all the bonuses that you've accumulated until now, they'll double. So like see the lads who had been in every single squad, like was Fergie there? I don't know, but Rickson and all them kind of guys. I think in total, getting through the qualifying stage and then getting through the group, you were about 115, 120, something like that.
And would you still been a young boy on quite rubbish dough at that time?
Well, I was quite lucky because remember all the things about the tax things with Rangers and stuff. So a lot of the first team players obviously must have got paid into somewhere else, fucking Isle of Man or something like that. But I went on loan to Doncaster, so I ended up getting mines paid at the end of the season into my wages. So I just get taxed normal, and at the time I'm thinking, I've been taxed 40% on all this dough, and I'm a young boy, surely I should have got the tax-free money. But then obviously people would have got a knock on the door, wouldn't they, after everything came out, so I was quite lucky. But yeah, the bonuses make you sit. You're a cheerleader on the bench, aren't you?
I know, it's mad you're getting money today, that
up off your feet, Andy gets nearly 18-yard box.
Oh, you've never cheered the goal even the rest of your career like you used to cheer goals for it. So see the Porto game, again, is there any inclination, like does McLeish say you might be involved in it, or are you just thinking I'm going to be another game on the bench?
You needed a result, didn't you?
Yeah, we had
to. Last game?
I think we needed a draw basically, I think. Yeah, I think we might have needed a draw, but no incline, no nothing, just usual, warming up. You get the shout to go on, and I'm thinking...
He doesn't even go like, Roscoe, go and warm up, you're going to go on here?
No, so like it was actually the doc. The doc made the decisions, Doc McGuinness. He's like, sometimes he would say 3 out to warm up, but then sometimes he would go, Roscoe, you better go out here. And I think that night he said, Roscoe, you better go warm up. So when you're going out to warm up, you get the jelly legs and that running down the touchline. And I knew I had a chance of coming on, but obviously what transpired after that was just, I can't even remember it, mate.
What, you can't remember the goal?
I can remember the goal because I've watched it back, but see, between the goal and full time, I can't really remember. After the game, I can't remember.
What's the goal like? Can you remember?
It's a tap-in.
But what, is it a build-up? Is it a cross coming?
Yeah, so I think Rickson goes down the right-hand side, crosses it, and Burkey heads it back across, and I'm only maybe 6-7 yards out, and I don't know where Pepe, the centre, see the head case.
Was it?
But he was behind me, so I don't know. He must have get caught out of position or something like that, and he's just headed it, and I've just hit it first time with my left foot. But like I say, I don't remember after it.
Yeah, but the best feeling was you were actually training 1-0, wasn't it? So you've actually came on and saved it.
But yeah, basically, aye.
How was that feeling?
That's what I mean.
People
always ask me when you're back into the changing room and all that. I remember getting on the bus to go back to the airport, just looking at my phone, mate, and I was like, what the like, it was just messages. I think it was a Bebo at the time and all that, mate, just fucking hundreds.
There was a few birds in that inbox, mate, that night, wasn't there?
Oh, Bebo was nuts for that, Roscoe, wasn't it?
Aye, but then when it wore down, mate, they all fucked off again.
I know you can't really remember the exact change room, but can you remember, did McLeish single you at all?
Surely you're getting
I know, I'm feeling big X giving you something.
No, I honestly, I don't think so. I think maybe more the players made a point of coming over and, you know, saying well done, probably more than they would if I'd came off the bench against, no disrespect, but a Dundee United or something like that, do you know what I mean? So I probably felt a wee bit more love for the first team squad, and actually that probably made me feel more of a first team player.
I think it's quite a good thing that McLeish doesn't make it to be a big deal. It's just now like you're part of the group, that's just what I expect you to do when you come on.
I thought that at the time, well, maybe not at the time, but when you look back now, you obviously, you go over a lot of things in your head when you leave and all that, and I agree with that, because it shouldn't be a big thing. How can you get well done just for training with the first team? What have you actually done?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The well dones come when you actually... Jimmy Bell was the best for it, and sometimes he used to joke, but what he was saying was spot on. Do you know what I mean? Like you used to ask him, he used to do the stud conversions.
So you change your moulds to half studs?
Aye. So he used to ask him, what the fuck, how many games you played? 3? I'm not doing your mode. Fuck off.
Such a good thing to hate a football club,
but then he would do it anyway. But the things that he was saying would put wee seeds of doubt in your head, thinking, I have no actually made it yet. He is right. So yeah.
See, that is must be the most amazing feeling, right? Scoring the Champions League. Tony Watt does it with Celtic. But is it hard to deal with that? What comes your way with sort of the way the media are with you, or maybe people are expecting you to do that all the time?
A little bit. I think at that point in time you probably get sheltered a wee bit from it. I didn't actually do lots of media after that game. I probably done an interview the next day. I think we played, that was the Wednesday night, and then we had Hibs away on the Saturday, and I started that game. Played 90 minutes. That's probably, I wouldn't be surprised, that's my only ever 90 minutes for Rangers. I went on loan a few weeks later, but I didn't actually do much media because there was such a short turnaround between the two games. So I probably done a couple of interviews on maybe the Friday before the Saturday game, but that was it. And then social media wasn't the way it is now. So you're not
exposed to it as much.
You're not exposed to it as much, and therefore you don't feel probably the pressure that a lot of the young boys feel now trying to get into your Celtic Rangers.
You dealt with that pressure really well, eh?
Straight to Amsterdam, that's how I dealt with it. Through the Bow brothers.
What about maybe not the attention, but what about like the lure to go out in Glasgow? Was that big after you'd scored that goal? Like obviously when you're well known, like back in the days, everyone went out all the time.
To be fair, it didn't change because exactly what you
were
just
doing
said
it before
there,
it.
I was doing it before it. The only thing that changed is you probably had a wee bit more money in your skyrocket to pay for your mates to come as well. So no, that goal, I can say that goal definitely didn't.
See, when you look back now, do you think that you did go out too much, or do you think that was just what everyone was doing at the time, so it was fine to do that? Because you think now, mate, young boys would never. You did
say that, didn't you? You were out at the time.
Far too much.
But that was the thing back then. Everybody was doing it, mate, wasn't it? Everyone was doing it, so at that time it wasn't a big deal. As long as you trained and stuff, then you know it was fine. But nowadays, like you've just said, they're machines now, aren't they? They can't do it. But even as I say, when I was playing the Championship Saturday, Tuesday, you would still go out on a Saturday night and go out after the game on a Tuesday. See, you go and score that goal with against Porto. You then start v Hibs. How then a few weeks later do you go out on loan? How does that decision come about? I don't think the manager at that point in time felt that I was ready to start. But if I didn't start that game against Hibs after the goal against Porto, I think not an injustice, but a lot of people would be like, "Oh, that's fucking shit." Do you know what I mean? So I probably started that game based on scoring one goal, and then I was straight back on the bench. I actually got man of the match against Hibs. I was playing wide left. Sure, I get man of the match, but then I was back on the bench, and I was like, I've had a wee taster. Like, see when you get a wee taster of first team football, you get a taster and you want more. So as soon as I realised that I wasn't I never ever thought I'd be a regular starter, but I thought I'd be involved a bit more than. At that period in time anyway, I thought I'd have been involved a bit more than it was looking like I was going to be. So, I wanted more. So was it your decision that you wanted to go? Yeah, to be fair, I was probably pestering McLeish. I want to go on loan. I don't think he wanted to let me go on loan, but in the end, I think it was probably right for everybody.
Why don't?
Sorry, on you go.
No, yeah.
When you look back, do you wish you did do that decision, or do you wish you stayed at Rangers? No, I wouldn't change anything that I'd done when I was at Rangers, apart from drip out that one day and get injured. But no, I wouldn't change it. I wanted to play first team football, and to be fair, it was Doncaster I went on loan. Why
Doncaster?
I don't know. I just wanted to go and live myself.
Was there any Scottish? Was Martin Woods in that there at that
time? No, it was Michael Mackindo.
Oh, Michael Mack.
Aye, Michael Mack.
He's the manager at Edinburgh City now.
Aye.
Some boy.
He does running drills with crisps and Pringles in between his fingers. And see if any of the Pringles snap, he's got to go back to the start because his technique's wrong. Honestly. He used to say he was a property developer and all that. He went to Wolves and he used to carry a briefcase to training.
That's right, I've heard this.
So the boys at Wolves are like, right, fuck it, the boys that were injured, right, let's get in about that briefcase and see what the fuck's in there. They opened it, mate. Do you know what was inside?
Pringles.
No, just a big calculator.
So when you went to Doncaster, is that when you done the Pringle thing?
Aye.
You used to run. If you done a run into where would you have the Pringles
No,
on the
so
side of the pitch?
he used to do extras. He used to do extras, but that was his thing for his technique. If the Pringles cracked.
But why does your fingers help your running technique?
I've no idea.
But so you had to do it as well?
No, he would do extras.
And then you'd go and eat them all you can, wouldn't you? I'm just going to run behind you in case you drop in it. Who was the manager there? Was it that guy? He's meant to be a genius.
O'Driscoll? No, it wasn't him. It was Dave Penny.
Dave Penny was the older manager as well. What was he like?
Aye, he was good, to be fair, but he had an assistant called Mickey Walker. I don't know if you come across him. He was class, mate. The lads just used to abuse him when he wasn't there, because he was the first ever person that ever wore like proper dark glasses. It looked like sunglasses and that. The lads used to terrorise him, honestly. But Dave was he was just a
League One manager.
I don't know what to say it. I'll let you say it.
No, I can imagine.
Do you think that brought you on a lot, mate? That loan move, getting the first.
Yeah, that's
football?
why I wanted to go. Forgetting the football, I wanted to go and live by myself.
Good at that age, mate, doing that.
Aye, but my mates would tell you a story as well, mate. The first time they came down, it wasn't going very well living myself, mate. I'd ran out of toilet roll and I was using towels. The shop was too far away, mate, so I was using towels. using hand towel and put the towel in the bin.
Mate, see when you do move, you forget things like buying toilet roll, don't you? It's fucking mad.
You're so lost.
Even food in the cupboard. They're looking for food in the
What
cupboards.
do you mean you're so lost? You've never lived on your in your life.
MK Dons.
Sorry.
I was doing MK Dons.
2 weeks you lasted.
No, a few months, and it's what you were saying, mate. I just was totally lost when I went back home.
For about 2 months, I was miles off it, mate. When they come down, they're looking for food in the cupboards. I know there is jammy Dodgers and Jaffa cakes and that, mate. Like,
just cakes.
You don't even think, like, because that's you're learning. But I was a shambles for a couple of months.
Did you start every week?
Aye, a lot of games. I think I started 12, scored 5, so.
Done all right.
It was good. It was good.
And then you going back to Rangers thinking I'm going to go back here and get an opportunity in the first team. I think McLeish had obviously left at that point. You see a new manager's coming in.
I had it in my head that I probably could get a chance, but then when I started seeing, he started signing like young boys for like France and stuff, and I thought if he's signing young boys from there, they're probably going to be favoured over me, and it became apparent quite quick that I wasn't going to get much minutes.
You remember his first day?
I can, mate. Aye.
What was it?
Fucking, you had to run about 300 kilometres, mate.
With Pringles in between your hands.
Honestly, it's just a run round. I mean, you see the size of Murray Park?
Uh-huh.
Well, there's like a bit that you can walk right all the way around the edge of it. I don't know how long it is, but we just had to run until he blew the whistle.
Did he speak to you before training started? Was he not a big talker? Nah.
I think he.
Not a good way to start. I think he just boys you out there a fucking 8-mile run.
Do you know what killed him? Fergie obviously come back to the club, and before they went to, I think it was like maybe Linfield pre-season game, they were in the canteen just having their breakfast stroke pre-match or whatever, and Fergie had toast and beans, and he's walked up to Fergie when he's sitting down, positive it was Fergie, and took Fergie's plate off the table while he was eating it, walked out to the bin, scraped the beans off and gave him a toast back and says, we don't eat beans here, and that. And then obviously that's how he sort of got fucked off. Fergie, remember Gavin Ray become captain. That's what it was. That's what it was doing, mate. Beans.
That's wild, isn't it?
Wait, why? I don't get that.
Why you put beans on in the first place if you're not wanting to fucking eat them? That's what would be my question, mate.
But I always see when I say when you finish, you look at things differently. I always think sometimes the managers, they go into a club and try and make an example with the biggest player there. Look at Mourinho with Casillas and things like that. So I don't know, maybe if he was maybe trying to make an example with Fergie, but then it went too far because Fergie took it the wrong way. I don't know.
Was that the hardest pre-season you've done under him? You talked about that running?
No, I've had 2 hard ones. Remember McGhee? Matt
McGhee,
God, and then, well, that was hard, but then he learned his pre-season off of Felix Magath, and I had Felix the first.
Right. Oh, I've heard Fozzie talk about that.
Right.
Right, we'll come to that in a minute. So what was the Guen pre-season like? Tough? That run you're talking about?
And that was it, mate. It was just shite.
Like I had
no enjoyment, maybe small-sided games of it, and it was literally just long drawn-out runs as well. Nothing like, I don't know, maybe
I know your heart rate was getting up.
I don't know if it maybe became sharper after I left towards the end of like pre-season and that, but it was just the kind of running that I hate as well. Like, when the fuck are you going to run constantly for fucking 12k and
just
at the one pace?
That.
Like, it doesn't happen. So it was just it was shit, mate.
Did he tell you early? Wasn't a part of his plans?
No, mate. I just got a. You know when you know, nobody has to tell you, Derry.
Why is that? Like the fact he's not talking to you, but for what you're saying, he's not really talking to anybody, is he?
No, he's no. But then you can sort of tell from. See, when you play 11 aside in training and stuff, you can.
And you're the linesman.
Aye, mate. I'd have took that. Mate. I was standing behind the fence trying to watch.
Wait, so you weren't even involved?
I wasn't involved in the 11v11.
Why doesn't he go with a chance? Surely that would drive me nuts. That
do you want me to be honest with you? I don't think he knew who I was.
That's the worst, isn't it?
I don't. I think when he's obviously... So I left in January to go on loan, and I was only 18. So I think when he's agreed to take over the club, when he's came in and he's probably started looking for like March or something like that, and I wasn't there, and then this wee fat ginger turned up. He's probably like,
did you go in? When did you go in? So talk us through this. They're doing an 11v11, what, and you're training the first team, but you're not involved in the actual game?
Yeah.
But you then just stand at like a sub?
Standing at the side, mate, aye.
No way. How many is there standing at the side?
Back then there'd probably been a couple, mate, aye.
Couple of subs in training?
Yeah.
Mate, that's awful. I see things like that doesn't sit well with me. Like, McGhee at least the speak to you for a start or have a look at you and then make your mind up, but just to completely bin you, I hate that.
Yeah. See, when I say I don't think he knew who I was, I actually got a phone call a couple of weeks after I signed for Motherwell, and he said that he would never have let me go if he'd have known about that under 21 rule. We didn't even know about that.
Fuck.
So if he would have known about that, the first thing that you would say as a coach is, all right, well, who's the best youngsters at the club?
Yeah.
So the fact that he didn't know about the under 21 rule, I don't even think he knew I existed, which is fine.
Mate, can you see, I know you're only there a few weeks from that, but could you tell early on that he wasn't going to work with the boys? It was just not going to happen for him?
Yeah. I think a big thing for new managers and new coaches when they get into a club, you can tell in how the boys take to your sessions.
Aye.
And with his pre-season being so bad and the lads hating it, you're fighting a losing battle right away. And then, like I said, when you start taking fucking beans off the Rangers' best players' plate.
Did anything else happen like that, mate? Did any other incidents that he would do that?
Nah, I think it was just Fernando when he sent him home, but I'm sure it was him who sent him home because he was having a couple of drinks on the plane, wasn't it, or something?
Oh, that's right, so he did.
I think they went to South Africa or something.
And he sent him back?
Sent him back, mate, aye.
Was there anything about Guen that you liked? Was there any part of like the way he approached games or the way he took training that you liked?
I didn't see it. I didn't see it. The only thing I seen was his pre-season training for maybe 3 or whatever weeks, mate, and it wasn't for
miles
me.
off. It's
No.
mad because he did so well at Leon, didn't he?
Yeah, I'm not saying he's a bad manager. He might be a good manager, but I think he could have done things a bit better to get a lot of the lads on board. Like for me, if I was going to a different country, I'd be studying, going, right, who's the main men there? I need to get them on board ASAP.
Yeah. But he's been the opposite almost, hasn't he?
He's taking beans off people's plate and putting them in the bin, mate.
That is mad. When do you find out that they want you to go?
They didn't want me to go, mate. It was me.
Right. So you went to him?
Yeah, it was me, yeah.
How do you go about that? Is it through an agent or do you go and see him yourself?
Just straight into his office,
Did
mate.
You, mate?
Aye.
Do you remember that day? Like, is your agent say to you go and see him?
Shiting myself, mate. No, my agent was, I think at the time, Gordon Smith.
What's your husband? He still hangs about him.
Was it? I go for a coffee at the West End sometimes.
So at that point in time, he was my agent. But yeah, I was shiting myself, mate, because
what was it that got you to that point? Was it the like sub and training bit, or was there something else that happened?
Just everything, I think.
Gradual thing.
And they were talking about signing probably an R3-4 more sort of attacking players as well, and I can't even get into I can't get in before the 7 that's already there. I was like, nah. And then having the first team experience the season before, I wanted more again, and there was no chance there. So I was like, I'm in the cinema and I said, look,
See, when you chat the door and you walk in, does he say, like, what is it you're here for?
He was there in his bathrobe, mate, but I sat down the bobby was hanging out the bottom and that.
No way.
No, I'm only kidding.
That'd be amazing.
What was he wearing?
No, I think so, mate. And to be fair, he was quite nice.
Do you just come out with it straight away? I need to leave.
I just walked in and I said, can I have a minute of your time? And he's like, of course. I said, look, I'm just me looking into things and stuff. I had a good spell at the end of last season on loan. You know, doesn't look as if I'm going to be involved. I actually put it on him a wee bit. I said, it doesn't look as if, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, that I'm going to be involved that much this season going forward. I said I'd like to go and continue my development somewhere else and play first team football. And he was like, I'll speak to the coaches. But then, to be fair, he pulled me in probably a couple of days later and said, yeah, we've decided you can go.
I know it was your decision, mate. Obviously, you were pushing at me, but was it emotional, obviously, coming through the youth and then eventually to leave Rangers?
Yeah, because you've been there since, 8-9 years of age, but I think there just comes a time where you got to take that out of it, mate. And if it's, that's what I never understood. See, like even at Chelsea, young boys that stay there to 24 and never played a fucking game.
You had boys that Celtic get stayed to 24, mate, hadn't played a game. Madness.
But the difference at Chelsea, I know they're probably getting 35 grand a week and that, so that's why you'll stay. But I never get it. Like, playing is the best part. Imagine training all week and you've got no chance of playing. What's the point?
There comes to an age like playing reserves now at 18. It's decent that there's a wee buzz about
20,
it. But then
21
once it
latest.
gets 19, 20, you need to play first team football.
100%, and that's what I wanted.
Nobody will touch you after that, wouldn't they know if you've not played a first team game?
No.
Do you know what I mean?
No,
like,
tough after that.
Because you get younger players maybe at other teams, Motherwell, who are playing 17, 18, almost over 100 appearances and that, so that's the players they'd be looking at.
Yeah. What made you choose Motherwell? Was it the fact they had such poor attacking players?
I was a pup at that time. I was a wee pup at that time. Was there any other clubs that you're thinking about?
I was going to go to, there was a team down south, a League One team. It might have been maybe Stockport or something. I might be wrong, but it was them or Motherwell, and I was like, well, League One or playing the SPL, chance to maybe play a lot of games on Sky and stuff like that. Maurice Malpas was my under-21 Scotland manager, so it was Stockport or Motherwell, and Motherwell.
Were you there when Maurice Malpas played? Every given Sunday, speeching his motor to the boys?
Aye. Sitting in the car park at DL.
So how does this come about?
I think we were struggling, were we not? We were in danger. I don't know if we could have went down or we were maybe in danger. I'm sure we were in danger of going down. There was only like 3 games to go or something. That's how I remember it anyway. And then we finished training, and then people were late, and he's like, no, like. So we had to like come back and sit round his motor, and he opened these fucking 4 doors.
So he's in his car?
Turned it up, aye.
It's not even in the dressing room, he's sitting in his car in the car park.
In his car, the doors. Turns it up, and everybody's standing round the car, mate.
What were you doing? What were you thinking when it was happening?
But you know, it's like people's fucking
nudging each other.
Imagine he just started staring at you revving his motor.
Are you ready?
And Heggy's at the side shouting, "Will." Fuck off, Heggy.
That is genius.
How did your first season go, Motherwell? I was just, mate,
average,
youth. I was in the youth team at this point.
I actually, I was really ill my first season, so I didn't play much. I had a thyroid problem, so I didn't play much at all. It wasn't really until my second year that I sort of played. So I can't really say much about the first year.
Maurice Malpas used to do his team talks in Al Pacino's accent.
Tony Montana.
See, once the speech was finished, did he shut his motors, put the windows up and drive away?
I don't even know, mate. I think the boys panned the windows.
Somebody was shoving their arse on his bonnet.
Panned the windows. Can you imagine?
Fuck's he on
Paul
about?
Hegarty was rubbing his arse on his bonnet. He's like, he's listening. Hey, he's fucking listening. Listen.
Heggy. Oh, fucking hell.
Brilliant. A big character that team's got McDonald. How did you get on with him, mate?
Aye, alright.
He's a money fucker, isn't he?
Oh, money, aye. To be fair, he was, I think a couple of people took exception to it. Probably Richie Foran more than most, and Richie's a big guy, he can handle himself and that.
Did you not walk in on them in the toilet?
Oh, mate. So I'd seen to Slaney. I didn't know if he was at the Christmas do, but
no, I didn't call that.
Our Christmas.
Didn't called up to Christmas too.
Scotty didn't need his stilettos.
He was in Maurice Malpas' boot listening to that.
Put that speech again.
Can I hear that again, Gaffer? I loved it.
So we had a Christmas do and it was fancy dress, and we went to who was it? Somebody's mate had a pub in Wishaw, I think it was. So we went there, and Old Firm game was on. Got to about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and everybody's blitzed. I walk into the toilet and I just looked to my left and I was like, this can't be happening. You had Richie Foran dressed as a bird, Scott McDonald dressed as a bird, both with skirts and that on, and Richie's punching fuck him. I'm just standing there like that. That can't be right.
Did they two clash all the time?
All the time, mate, all the time. Scotty was in the middle of see the wee what did you used to call him, a toro? The box, 6v2. And he kept saying things, and then by the end of it, Richie was actually running round the inside chasing him, and he just towed him up the arse, mate. Fair old, he's just towed him right up the arse.
Foran was tough though, mate, wasn't he?
Yeah, you can tell people can handle themselves.
Yeah.
He was ripped to shreds. He was tough, mate.
Was there no big Scouser that was at Motherwell at the time that was meant to be really hard as well? I'm sure he battered Scotty as well. Can't remember. Remember Kevin McBride?
Craigs?
Stephen Craigan?
Aye.
No, it wasn't he?
No. Aye, well, to be fair, Barra was handy as well, wasn't it?
Barra could box me. I went to box with Barra a couple of times. What about Craigan? How was he? Are his stories true about how curly his toe is?
I wouldn't be surprised, mate, aye. I wouldn't be surprised.
He did have that technique, didn't he?
He had the curly ping. Like, you try and ping it, but it just... I don't know how you can do it. See, when you go and ping it, surely, like, when you ping it, you cut across it a wee bit, so if anything, it maybe goes out the way you touch. That's the way I ping it. But yeah, he'd ping it, and it fucking... behind him, mate.
Beckham, innit? Passes it like Beckham.
Bend it like Craigs.
Roscoe, I remember I had just came into my little... and Chris McCart called me up to come into full time at 15, and at round about that point, mate, Phil O'Donnell had just passed away. I'll never forget that, mate, how dark the days were and how the club was affected.
Aye, well, that...
Such a legend, mate.
I still remember a game that happened, mate. Dundee United at home. I actually scored 2 that day, and so did his nephew, Clarkie.
Aye, his nephew.
But so that game, when it happened to him, I remember running back, and I looked at him, mate, and I could only see the whites of his eyes. So I had to sprint over to the side of the dugout, and I was sick, mate.
Oh yeah,
I was sick, mate. Aye. I thought he's gone. So we continued the game anyway, and then I was in the car school with Steve McGarry and Keith Lasley, and we got a phone call on the way back for the secretary to say that Bill's gone, which was news to us because we were reading reports after the game that apparently he'd come in and he'd sat up and he was fine, but he was just away to hospital. But that never happened. That was just fucking assholes online, mate, just making shit up. So I think he might have actually died on the field, yeah. And as I say, Clarkie was his nephew. Clarkie didn't realise the severity of it until probably 10 minutes after Phil had been took off, and we didn't even sub Clarkie. Clarkie's just ran down the tunnel, got his car keys and went to hospital.
I mean, just the early days I was in, I always remember that he'd sit there in the morning and him breakfast and just brilliant with everybody, but a total club legend.
Uncle Phil, innit, mate?
Aye, Uncle Phil, and everybody just absolutely adored him. And I remembered, see the months so after the funeral was absolutely mobbed, and the youth team, we all went as a youth team with the Motherwell tracksuits on, and we all stood outside, and it was just a beautiful tribute to him. But I remember the club for the months after that was just it was just such an empty feeling, wasn't it? It was just such an empty feeling about the place. And
but the first team sort of felt a different way. I was actually close in January to going to Middlesbrough or Wigan in the Premier League, and I ended up staying. Everybody wanted to stay together, and we finished third for Phil, which third is obviously like winning the league if you're not Celtic or Rangers, and we managed to do it.
What kind of guy was he to you, Phil O'Donnell?
Just the way he was with everyone. If you ever had a problem in that, you could chat to him. I always say there's a reason why he was called Uncle Phil, not just because obviously he was Clarkie's uncle, but he was that kind of figure to everybody.
Is he a top player? Top player for O'Donnell, wasn't he?
Aye, he was a very good player, mate. And it's funny because I'm sure he openly said it that season as well, that was as fit as he'd felt since he was flying at Celtic. And then that happens.
I know, it's so sad, isn't it?
Yeah. Aye, absolutely tragic.
So then Mark McGhee comes in, this is where you used to then connect, innit?
Aye, so Mark McGhee comes in. What was his can you remember really like his first team talk or how he went about it?
I don't think so, mate. No, I don't. I can't really remember him saying anything, to be honest, mate. It was just fucking... Like, boys, this is what we're going to do. We're going to run our cocks off a day.
That's genius, man.
That was magic.
Listen, I think he gripped the boys right away because of, like I say, his training sessions. He wanted to pass the ball. And
was he before his time, Mark McGhee?
Was what?
Was he before his time? Because nobody really passed the ball then, did they?
When I went,
the football that we played, mate, that year, aye, we were very, very good.
4-3-3, mate, wasn't it? You Porto, is it Clark?
Straight from pre-season as well, like straight away, mate.
Where did he bring that from? Because my recollection of Mark McGhee would never be like free foot, but again, I didn't know Motherwell at that time.
Well, when he went to Aberdeen, I don't think it was
Aberdeen, Dundee,
similar, but at Motherwell, I mean, watching the first team play.
Was it Dundee?
I went to Dundee a couple of years ago, didn't he? And like, couldn't get a point.
Did he?
And then he said he was naked and hung. He was going to get naked if they won a game or not. Do you remember he came into the press and said that?
Don't know. We use assistant.
He says he used to do it with you. Says he used to do it with you, not word to treat.
But mate, I'm telling you, the fit.
Sorry to interrupt you, but did he coach that?
He's probably better to ask there. But it was when I went up and trained with the first team. It was a lot of passing drills, possession things, and it was so the intensity was incredible. Mate,
it was the fitness levels that I got to that year. I didn't even think that it would be possible to get that fit. Just the pre-season.
Talk us through the pre-season, because a lot of people talk about Mark McGhee's pre-season, how tough it is.
Aye, it was like a, you know what Germans are like, they're fit as anything.
It was 800, it was all these 1,200 metres, 800 metres.
Pals Gordon, Strachan, Mark McGhee, I know the exact pre-season, because Strachan will do the exact same thing. The runway and all that, it's tough. It's like character running that.
Had to be in a certain time as well. It's fucking horrible.
When you walk out to DL, the pitches at DL, and you just see the trundle wheel and like, it's like, here we go again.
You seen the walk around, see the wheel to measure it, and then you've seen the poles at each distance. But the best one was Big Bob. Bob just jogged.
Bob Malcolm
just jogged around it, didn't he?
Aye, he was.
But Bob was brilliant for that, because see with the possession, Bob was really good, wasn't he?
Excellent in that team.
We were lucky because, like I say, we had a decent front three. Me, Chris Porter, David Clarkson, but it was really the three in midfield and the two fullbacks for us that were very, very, very good and effective. We had McGarry, Lasley, Bob Malcolm and Stephen Hughes, so three of them would play. We were a good team with Stevie Hamill left back, who was good. Who played right back? Paul Quinn, aye.
How's Paul Quinn? Is he mad?
Oh, man,
he's
any stories about Paul Quinn?
Not really, no. I think...
Is he not
That was the one, sorry, Ross, that was the one where he wiped his arse with my boxers and put them back in my jeans. So everybody thought I had skids.
Mate, you just made that up. They were yours. You're blaming it on coach.
Talking of real characters, as a young winger coming through, when did you first clap eyes on this guy, and did you think he was your brother? He's two twins, man. Can't get away with it.
No, it was stretching me that. Aye. No, it was triplets. It was me, him and Luke Chadwick.
He should have been side-shooting him. But we kind of just missed each other as in playing with the first team together. Because you made your big move, didn't you, after that season and went to Cardiff?
Aye, but he was... at that point in time, there wasn't many young boys who would come up for the 18s to train with us, because all the younger boys were already ways. Your Adam Coakley's, Kenny Connolly,
Big guys.
Big Bobby Donnelly.
Legends, aye.
JP Grant, remember him? John Paul Grant, madman.
No, I think he might have been before me, after me maybe.
Right.
But
Bobby Donnelly as well, good
all
guy,
them were already with us every day, but then obviously he sort of came up towards the end, and the lads, to be fair, I won't lie, the lads loved him coming to training because he was absolute shyness, mate.
Was he?
Aye, just loud, always having a laugh and stuff.
Was he good in training?
As a football player?
Yeah.
No, he was. He did have a lot of ability. But
Were you in the first team dressing room this time, or were you still getting changed?
No, I was still in the youth team, and then
You started playing the next year, didn't you?
I was in the next season. I made my debut at the end of that season.
They just said you were Ross McCormack, innit, and everyone thought Ross was still at the club when you played.
So, at the end of that season, I made my debut against Hamilton. That was with McCarthy and MacArthur. I don't know if you were playing that game. That was the end of the season.
Like Brian Easton and that.
Aye, that was that. I made my debut that season, and it was very strange because the following summer, I think you go to Cardiff, and then I went to go with the first team in pre-season, absolutely flying.
Remember Flo, who ended up becoming the chief exec? Well, at that point in time, he was just a fan.
Right.
So he came to watch us pre-season and all that, and he would follow the first team everywhere, even to watch training and stuff. And me and McGarry are like, this is a fucking stalker. Anyway, we were doing the cold water training in Austria. You know, when you'd sit in the freezing cold river.
What about Bobby
And he was
after
there
that?
watching. So me and McGarry, no having this, mate, walked up as if we were leaving, came round behind him, mate, picked him up, whoom, fucked him right in the river, mate. It took him about 4 weeks to get out.
That's a real man.
So that was a trip. There was earthquakes happening in the room.
That was Big Joe Malcolm sat down.
It was brilliant. I've told this maybe before, but see, so there was an earthquake at night. I think it was like 2 a.m. So everybody gets evacuated from the hotel. So we're all outside. I mean, we're terrified, obviously, what's happened. So everybody it passes, and then eventually goes back to the room, and somebody's done a shite in Bob Malcolm's room. In the middle of the flare, so somebody's obviously stayed back while everybody get evacuated and done a shite.
Definitely Burrows, wasn't it?
Big dingus, like, Leachy, any fucking bog roll on there.
Using your hand tools with Doncaster.
But your performances, mate, free kicks, goals, assists, you're magnificent, weren't you, mate?
Yeah, I think I just enjoyed it. As I said, a lot of the lads we dug out together, have nights out and that, so it was easy. The manager was brilliant. As long as even a Sunday, we were in every Sunday.
Oh, yeah,
that's
see,
right.
that, people are doing that now, aren't they?
But seeing back then, we were like, fuck it, only for recovery. But he didn't care if you come in and you were stinking of alcohol or you were hungover or whatever, as long as you were there doing the recovery. Matt McGhee didn't care. Half the time he wasn't fucking there. He was doing in Brighton, I think. But as long as you were in doing your recovery, you want to go out the night before, no problem. But
is he scary? Can Matt McGhee crack? Is he scary if he... Can he go mad, or is he...
Aye. No, he did. He went mad a few times. But...
Because he's running naked?
Aye. It's quite...
Can you remember when he went mad?
See, because like, when he was talking to us and that, like, all you could think about was fucking... Like, you can imagine him going mad talking like that, mate. It was hard not to laugh.
Is he a nice guy, Matt McGhee? Huh?
Aye, he's brilliant, mate.
Was he?
Aye, he's brilliant, mate, aye.
Hey, did you get called up with Scotland that season with Motherwell?
Aye.
Did you?
Clarkey actually did as well, and he scored. Remember, he scored a goal like fucking Bergkamp. I don't know how he done it.
It was George Burley, wasn't it, the manager?
That was debut under George Burley. 3-1 defeat to Czech Republic.
It was David Clarkson that scored.
So he did against Czech.
The ball came in,
The worst player to ever score for Scotland.
and it's the best first touch I've ever
I'm
seen.
only joking, Clarky.
The ball's come in, and I'm only joking. He took a touch with his left foot. It went that way, he spun round that way. It was like, remember Bergkamp done it?
Yeah,
It was the exact same as that, mate, and passed it into the other. He's never done anything like that in his life.
No, he's a right back playing up front, Clarky. He was just a grafter, mate. Again, I like to hear these stories.
Yeah.
How do you find out you've been called up for Scotland?
I think it was Leachy that phoned us. He says, you've been called into the Scotland squad. All right, brilliant.
Buzzing, huh?
No, obviously I was buzzing, but it wasn't it wasn't a big deal made of it for the club or whatever. It was. I think the club were probably excited because there was two of the boys who, I'm not being funny, at that point in time, me and Clarkson, nobody would have, at the start of that season, nobody would have looked at us two and thought they two are going to be two great players this season or two very good players this season. So I think the club probably felt a lot of pride in getting two players into the Scotland squad, and then obviously Clarkey scoring that goal was incredible.
Who was seeing that Scotland team, mate? Who were the players in training that you blew you away, like standouts?
Fucking hell.
Wasn't that a great Scotland team?
No,
was it?
Was it no?
Mate, I remember I get called up to the Scotland C squad, mate, or Scotland B squad.
C squad, they couldn't have you.
I was on the bench, mate. I was on the bench. Me and Stephen Fletcher were on the bench, mate, and you know who the two starting strikers were? I think it was Chris Ubulumu and remember a guy who played up front for Derby? Big heavy guy.
For Derby? Big guy?
Oh, mate, he was about 34. Me and Fletcher sitting on the bench.
And they were playing?
Two giants up front. Steve something, he's a Derby legend.
Yeah, I can't think.
You should know that, you'd have played against him.
No, he's Jim Cam, for fuck's sake. I can't think who that was.
Aye, but
you were involved, probably the biggest thing that's happened to Scotland in years is you were involved in that fucking scandal with Barry Ferguson and Alan McGregor.
I scored that game. That was my first Scotland goal that night.
The night that Fergie gets dropped and he's doing that.
Aye.
That completely takes the shine off because that was massive news, wasn't it?
Well, what happened?
Talk us to the build up before it.
So the build up before it was we had a double header. We had Holland away, and then Iceland at home. And I think it was the Saturday. Saturday night was Holland away. Tuesday night was Iceland home. So when we landed on the Saturday night, you had the option. You can go back to the hotel or you can go to your family. But as long as you're in for 12 o'clock the next morning for training. So I was like, all right, my dad picked me up for the airport, thank fuck, mate. Because you had boys that stayed up all night. Greaves got his hair shaved as well, didn't he, that night?
Is that why you had the hat on the bench?
I'm sure he gets his hair shaved that night. And then that's why, because they were up all night, I was coming in at about 11:30 the next day, mate, and that was Fergie and that just got to their room. They were getting carried off two security guards to their room, mate. They might be training in half an hour.
Wow.
And then that's why they get roped and stuff and they're sitting on the bench, and the best thing about it was big Christoph Beres in between the two of them, mate, and he's just pissing himself laughing. Aye.
So the Burley had a meeting just going through people?
No, mate, he didn't even really get through people, he just roped them.
His last game for Neil defeat for Wales, did the squad kind of know that he was going to get sacked at that point?
I think so, mate. I had Gary Caldwell and Kenny Miller had a proper argument after that as well. Like, I think everybody was sort of pissed off with how it was gone.
What, as in an argument, nothing to do with the management?
Just the game.
During the game,
how we were playing, and I think that the frustration came probably over a number of probably camps, and that was it, mate. You knew he was gone. Right.
So just back into that after that season at Motherwell, you get your move to Cardiff. How does that all come about, mate?
Well, I was actually going to sign with Nottingham Forest. Colin Calderwood was the manager. I was down there,
Club Forest.
And then I got a phone call from somebody at Cardiff saying, "Oh, Cardiff, what to sign you?" I'm not sure it was more money, but Robbie Fowler at the time was at Cardiff.
What a hero! What a player, mate. He's one of my heroes growing up, Robbie Fowler. And you old enough to remember him?
Unbelievable! What a finisher, man.
Mm-hmm.
Is he one of your heroes growing up?
He was, mate. I had him and Larson. So to get that chance to go to Cardiff, I thought this will never happen again.
Was it only because Robbie Fowler had signed it that you chose Cardiff over Nottingham Forest?
Yeah.
Wow.
And 2 weeks later he fucked off to Blackburn.
That's brilliant. How was he when you met him for?
He's good, mate. He gave me a lift to training one day. I was sitting in I think he'd an X5 at the time, and he took us to training because you had to get changed like up the top of the resort that we were in, and then either walk down or get in the motor down. And I seen him getting in the motor, and I thought, that's my fucking chance, innit? Jumped in the motor, mate. Got a wee lift into training for him, so.
Oh, that's incredible. I love stories like that.
Aye,
was he a top man?
Aye, mate.
Somebody says to me he's wild on a night out.
Well, they were saying on the Christmas do and that, and they went to Dublin, and see like the high chairs like that you sit on at the bar and that, bar was packed, and he couldn't be asked going to the toilet, so he just pissed himself.
I've heard that's his party trick.
Aye.
What's that? That's well.
That's unbelievable, isn't it?
That must be where I learned it for.
Wait, what a season!
You just do that sitting in your house, on it, not on the house.
On the couch. Oh, done it this morning on here again. By the way, what a season! Your first season, 24 goals, mate.
Yeah.
Were you flying at that time? Obviously, you were flying at that time.
I was flying
through the roof,
especially for the first 6 months. But then they signed Chopra back on loan, who's obviously a good striker, and him and Bothroyd played up front. So for the second half of the season, I played left wing.
Yeah, I love Jay Bothroyd as well. Remember him as a player?
Aye.
Good player, mate. He was a lovely left
Chopra
foot.
no mental?
I mean, the two of them are fucking Chopra, mate, they were arguing one day about who had the most Dolce & Gabbana clothes.
This is when life gets nuts, and see when you go to these places and that's the arguments.
I'm sitting there going, and then it got that bad saying, right, well, you bring in your suitcase, I've got 2 suitcases. Like, oh my God.
It's like a different world, isn't it?
It's
I feel like your Motherwell dressing room.
Aye, at Motherwell and that, there was never really any big time shouts or any whatever. But
Fuck all that Motherwell team.
no, well, that
Sounds like that. Oh my
Who was
God.
the other big characters in that?
I was
Cardiff
thinking,
team?
see when you were talking about your mother, I was thinking about jumping out that window, man.
Mate, I was going to be right behind you, I know. Who was the
I'll
other big
join you as
characters in
well.
that Cardiff team, mate?
You've made up with the Cardiff stuff with the Fowler and that, it's amazing.
well, Bothroyd and Chopra were there. Stephen McPhail.
What a player, man.
Oh, just so,
Lefty, man.
just so
Elegant.
Elegant's the word I was looking for. Aye.
Yeah, that's the testimonial. We came to the plays in his testimonial.
Was
There
it?
was 36 players involved and I was the only one that never got on the pitch.
If it makes you feel any better, I didn't get an invite to the testimonial either. Cheers, Marka. I didn't even know he had one.
To be fair, I think it was just the Cardiff first team that played in it, mate, so you've been let off there.
Mate, I love that stuff there with the
Dolce &
Chopra,
Gabbana
with
stuff.
that arguing with that. That's brilliant.
Frightening, mate.
Dave Jones was the manager as well,
Aye.
how was he?
He was really good for me, mate. He was proper chilled out, and I think I know I've said that a few times and all that, but his coach was massive for him because Dave Jones didn't do anything, and we had a guy called Terry Button there who used to be at
Terry
Arsenal and
Button,
stuff. Aye, the wee gnome.
He looks like Harry Potter, doesn't he?
Aye, mate.
How you
Harry,
know?
Harry Potter and high heels, mate. But he was an unbelievable coach.
In terms of what, like, we used doing like passes of
Training
play
sessions, aye, passes of play, your passing drills, possession, always small-sided games as well, so everybody enjoyed it. He was just very good, mate.
and then a lot of Scottish boys end up going down, don't they? Well, boys that played with Celtic and Rangers.
Well, Gavin Ray was there, wasn't he? And Joe Ledley was a superstar there, wasn't he?
Yeah, Joe was, mate. Joe was the one who came through the youth ranks to be a first team player there.
Linked to Liverpool and all that.
That's what I was going to say. It was like a massive club.
He got a couple of bad injuries, to be fair. I remember the season we got to the playoff final, I think he had a hip replacement? Something, or do you only get that when you're old? Like, is there something?
Scotland.
I think he had a double hip operation or something like that. And he only came back a few weeks before the playoff final, but he was linked to a lot of clubs.
Was he brilliant, Joe Ledley?
He was basically as he was at Celtic.
Like,
Just
get about the pitch.
7 out of 10 every week, I would
Tough,
say.
Aye. But coming, there's only one other player who'd ever sort of came through the youth ranks at Cardiff who was sort of that good, and it was Aaron Ramsey, and he went to Arsenal. So I think when everybody thought he went to Arsenal and Joe's made more appearances and stuff, that I think it was more people putting two and, because I don't, he was a good player, but for me he wouldn't be good enough to go to your Liverpool's and stuff.
That next
Do you know what I mean?
level, aye.
So I think it was maybe either his agent or people putting two and two together and coming up with 5, but he was very good.
Adam Matthews.
Adam Matthews, was he just young coming through?
He was. He could sing, by the way.
Oh, mate, how good is a
That's
singer?
unbelievable.
But no, there was proper good players at Cardiff, mate.
Who else was good? Like Phil, you said, Bob.
Do you know who was really good right back? Kev McNaughton.
Kev, grew up with Kevin Dundee.
Super Kev, mate.
What a
Aye, he
guy.
was,
Character, isn't he?
aye. Talk about,
He loves a night out, doesn't he?
oh, constant, mate. Red wine.
Loves
Loves his red wine. No, but he's got down to a T as well. He knows every single movie quote. So see if you're talking to him.
Maurice Malpas told him
He actually wanted to sign for Motherwell that next season in case he brought it out again.
Kev had grey hair when he was like 13.
Aye, mate. And he ran with a hunch at 12.
But that was the thing about Kev, he could drink all night and then he could run like fuck the next day, couldn't he? Fit as fuck.
Fit as if I don't.
That's right.
There was nothing to him though, to be fair. He was always quite skinny and stuff, but he was. He's an absolute legend at Cardiff.
How's the Cardiff crowd? Because it gets a reputation as being, they're fanatics, isn't they?
They are, mate. One of my first sort of games, it was bizarre. So behind this is the old stadium at Ninian Park. I played my first season, some atmosphere there. So my first season at Cardiff at Ninian Park, if you come out the tunnel and look to your right behind the goal, it's halved into two different parts. So it would be home fans and away fans, but we played Ajax in a pre-season friendly. And after about 30 minutes, we've just heard this Cardiff fans singing some songs or whatever. And I don't know what the song meant, but they've ran out their bit of the stadium, and I'm standing there going, where the fuck are they going? About 30 seconds later, mate, they've all come charging at the Ajax end, mate. They're all scrapping. I've never seen anything like it in my life.
Ajax fans are meant to be hard as well, aren't they?
Oh, they're meant to be nuts. I was there when they were all fighting with Celtic fans. I was fucking terrified.
Where?
Champions League, they're fucking wild by the
In
way.
Glasgow or in Amsterdam?
Amsterdam.
So
They've
we
been attacked us from behind.
did you?
He
Must have watched it out the windows of that red light district.
See that Cardiff team, would you go on a lot of nights out?
Aye, but we spoke back then. That's what you done. You go out after the game on a Saturday, and then
Who was the big ones for it though, always egging it on?
it was always
All the lotties.
Joe Ledley, Peter Whittingham, Tony Capaldi. You ever heard
Yeah,
of
left back, good player.
him? Yeah, good mate.
Whittingham was a joke, mate, wasn't he?
Different class, mate. So there was always 5 or 6. Roger Johnson, remember him? Big
Big Roy's big centre half.
He was phenomenal, mate, at Cardiff as well, and then he just went and got everybody relegated, didn't he?
That was the one that Merson compared Harry Maguire to. Do you remember on Soccer Saturday?
When this week?
No, it was like years ago. Do you remember it when Harry Maguire first got his move to Man United? He says you've got Roger Johnson and he says can defend on his box, brilliant head on the ball, but he can't defend on the half wheel. He said he was brilliant for Cardiff.
Aye.
But he used him as a comparison to Harry Maguire. What about Steven Gerrard's cousin Anthony?
Aye, Jezza, I think Jezza came my second. He actually played a lot of, I think he played the full season that year when we got to the playoff final. And to be fair to him, he done very well.
See, back in the day, like when you did play for the teams down south and you would go out, you would bump into fans a lot as well because you would go local all the time, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
How was that? Because you were doing well at the time, so are they alright with you?
It can be a good thing and it can be a bad thing. It depends how you interact with them. I've always been quite good at it. I'll have a laugh and have a pint with them or whatever, whereas a lot of people don't like it and then they start getting the abuse for the fans and then it becomes quite hard. But I was always alright with it, sweet. If I've seen them out or whatever and I'm out on having a few beers or whatever, I'll just have a laugh and have a pint with them and then they go on their way. So,
I mean, I've always wanted to know, what's the atmosphere like against Swansea?
very good, mate.
Is it?
Yeah, very good.
Because sorry, on you go.
It was much better in the old stadium though. Much
Right.
better in the old stadium. The new stadium looks nicer, but for atmosphere in Ninian Park was...
Crowds are right on top of you at Ninian Park, weren't they?
Mate, people could only take but one step back when they're taking a throw in because like they take 2 steps back and the fans are slapping them in the back of the head. No, mate.
Do you know anyone that did get slapped in the back of the head?
No, I don't know, but what I do remember was I think the last South Wales derby, Cardiff Swansea, I don't know if you remember, the ref got hit in the head with a coin.
That's right.
He gave a couple of decisions against Cardiff and as soon as he got near to that bad bit of the stadium, see that I was telling you about behind the goals,
goal,
as soon as you get near to that, somebody must have fucked a pound coin, chipped him in the head and one of the lads had to catch him.
Oh, it's the next season when it goes
it
to the playoff final against Blackpool. But you didn't start the game, why is that? Was that constant rotation of you, Boothroyd and Nah?
No, it was just, there wasn't
Just right, forget
it wasn't a rotation, mate. I just wasn't, I just didn't play.
Were you not a regular starter that year?
No.
You can't be happy with
I
that.
played no, because they turned down 5 or 6 million from Hull in the Premier League that summer as well. And I actually said to Dave Jones, people say I put in a transfer request, but I didn't. I said to Dave Jones, you should take it. And he said, no chance. Why? And I said, well, when Chopra came back 6 months ago on loan, I played wide left. You're now signed Chopra back permanently. I says, I'm not going to play the full season at left wing. You've got Chris Burke, you've signed Wayne Routledge, you've got Whittingham, Ledley. That's not going to happen. No chance. We'll find a place for you in the team. Second game, pulled my hamstring, come back, more or less didn't play a game the full season. And yeah, so...
Football's mad, isn't it? How quickly it turns. What was that like, knowing you weren't playing the playoff final, obviously expecting it, huh?
Yeah, I knew it, but see, I knew I wasn't playing, but Jay Bothroyd got injured after about 30 minutes or something, and I thought,
Burley's put me on.
Yeah, but he decided to bring Kelvin Ituhu on, who hadn't scored a goal all season for Cardiff. So that's a decision that me and probably a lot of the Cardiff fans didn't cost us. But
Why do you think you done that?
at that point we were 2-1 up, and the ideal thing to do was, if he's coming off, just have because Whittingham played left of a 4, and then you had Joe Ledley, McPhail, and Chris Burke. The perfect thing to do then, we're 2-1 up, probably 10 minutes to go to half time, is play Chopra through the middle, Burkey wide right, me wide left, and just sink into a 5 and, get through to half time and then see what we do for there. but he brought Kelvin Atuhu on and we get beat 3-2.
Why do you think that was? It had it got quite personal between you and Dave Jones at that point?
No,
No?
no. There was never any. I always got on all right with Dave Jones.
He just thought that was the best football decision to make?
And then you lose that game 3-2, mate. Was that one of the lowest points in your career?
Aye, because see when you come back into the changing room in Wembley, it's just full of fucking champagne and crates of beer and
That must be the worst.
we had parties booked and all that as well, because obviously, like, for talking shit, I had something like 40 or 38 tickets or something come for Glasgow on a bus, so I had to put them somewhere, so I put them in a sports bar across the road for a hotel, and other people had done the same with their families and stuff, plus we had a club party booked, because if we did get promoted, everyone was coming from Cardiff to have a big party. So then you sit there after it and you're like, and I'm not being funny, it was Blackpool as well, with the squad that we had, being 2-1 up. It was literally bang bang before half time, conceded 3-2, and we never recovered.
Mate, it's also the fact, you know, your money's getting doubled, you've got the Premier League in it.
Well, a lot of people's was, mine's wasn't, but.
And you're getting a big bonus as well, aren't you?
And also fucking Charlie Adams scored the free kick.
See, when you see Charlie lining up for that free kick, be honest, do you think goal? Because he was that good that year, wasn't he?
Yeah, I'm thinking goal, but I'm also thinking, and I don't understand why people don't do this, if a goalkeeper was to stand in the middle of the goals with no wall from 30 yards out, nobody would score.
We've said that before as well.
Why have a what? I know obviously back then, like, everybody had a what was a done thing, but now, why would you have a wall? Just tell the wall to stand in the middle of it. Nobody's beating a goalkeeper for 30 yards without the keeper taking 2 steps that way.
I know you're saying, like, again, obviously it's devastating for you, but is there also a wee bit of happiness, pride for Charlie? Like you said, came through Rangers with you, had a hard time with guys like Barry Ferguson, Rangers fans being on his back, and then to see him, was there a wee glimmer of, I'm buzzing for Charlie?
I'm not going to lie, mate. Was I fuck? No
Oh, he was incredible that year, so wasn't he?
Yeah, unbelievable.
And he was written off at Rangers, really, wasn't he, Charlie?
Aye, he was. That's right.
He was, but he was one of. You actually go back to it when Guen took over. He was one of Guen's kind of main players for like a year.
That's what eventually got Guen the sack, wasn't it? Playing
Mate, see the dressing room after it. You see the manager maybe made a few wrong decisions. Is the boys arguing with each other, or is it just total silence?
Nobody's talking to each other, mate. Just literally, people are just sitting looking at the flare.
What does the gaffer say?
He didn't say a word.
Yeah.
Didn't say a word, mate.
I've been beating the playoff final as well. Yours was League One, mate, but we were the week after and we got beat for Millwall. I watched you on the telly in Glasgow steaming and had a playoff final the next. I watched Charlie score, knowing that I'm playing there a week later. We were in a pub in Glasgow watching it.
Swindon?
Millwall beat us.
Were you still there the following season, Swindon?
I got relegated.
So you would have played in the pre-season game against Cardiff, where I was getting dogs abuse off the Cardiff fans.
Nah, I don't think. Oh no, because I went back to Celtic. It was a year I was on loan. I went back to Celtic, so I missed pre-season.
Why?
Just because obviously somebody had said that I'd put in a transfer request when I hadn't.
Well, they're watching this now. Tell them it's a load of shite.
A load of shite.
Good.
But why? Who starts this?
I don't know, mate. No idea.
Do you think somebody within the club?
Yeah, probably. Aye.
Do you?
Probably. Aye.
Oh.
It's usually what happens, innit? People let things out to the press and it goes for there.
Did you feel that the club wanted you to go?
At that point, they would have wanted me to go, aye.
Not being Hull, you wouldn't want to sign for a club like Hull. See, knowing that you're now going to go to Leeds, mate, you wouldn't have wanted to go to Hull, would you?
No, I know, but Hull were in the Premier. I never played in the Premier League.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that was probably my only realistic chance to sign for a Premier League club. I should have had chances to get there through getting promoted with the squads that I was involved in, but we never did. But in terms of signing for a Premier League club, that was the only one where that was, yeah.
But then to go to Leeds, I mean,
What a club.
see if you hear Leeds are coming in for you, there's just something about Leeds that
It's
a massive
it's a massive
club, innit?
club, innit?
Yeah, huge, mate, huge. It was poor my first season as well. I couldn't get in the team because they just got promoted from League One to the Championship, and their sort of front four was Becchio,
Beckford, that's right.
Snoddy was wide right, Grado was wide left, and then in behind was
Grado the wrestler, he's
like
a
a
track, isn't he?
Fucking hell.
and Johnny Howson was in behind, so they were
We purred him behind.
Top.
Grado running to the left wing at Elland Road.
Fucking hell. But
It was Max Grado, wasn't it?
Max Grado, aye.
Grado.
Max Grado. That was probably That was probably the most mental dressing room, like people putting toothbrushes
Merely
up
Motherwell?
Aye. No, people putting toothbrushes up their arseholes and putting it back in people's toilet bags and that, like, just stupid things like that. Do you know who else was mad for things like that? Mikel Forsell, remember him? Played with Chelsea.
The big albino? The Finnish boy?
Big polar bear.
What's he?
Aye, mate. He's mental things like that, mate. I'm sure he wiped his arse with Snoddy's shirt one time and hung it back up.
Can I just ask you keep dating fuck you want?
Mikel Forsell, remember he got hit with a baseball on Big Brother?
Big thingy. Darnell. Big Darnell Forsell.
I know it was Mikey that got hit with the ball.
That's him. Mikey's him. Again, like, so how did the Leeds come about? Is it just an agent? Was the Snoddy text saying we're interested in it? Was it Simon Grayson manager at the time?
Simon Grayson manager at the time. No, it was just my agent saying, look, you got a chance to.
Are you buzzing straight away?
Go to Leeds. So I thought, I go and get it done.
And they paid off for you?
No much. I think maybe 250, 300 grand or something like that.
Great deal for a minute.
Well, but that's why I was honest with Dave Jones a year before to take 6 million or whatever it was. They ended up losing 5.7 and I hardly played.
But see, like, what was it like driving up to Elland Road? Like, I know Cardiff's a good club and a good stadium, but you're driving up to Elland Road, mate. Like,
well, I was banned for drink driving, so I got a train, mate.
Just walking up to it.
I was
these toothbrush, walking up these that's the stinking.
Who's asked buttons?
I was on EasyJet with Matt Riley.
What?
That was a sin,
oh man.
But then alright, just talk about going to Elland Road, incredible nah.
Yeah.
What
mate.
a stadium, mate.
Just the they talk a lot about the atmosphere, but it's more the history. See, I think it's more because I was Scottish as well. Like you've got all the old amazing Scottish players, Peter Lorimer, Eddie Gray, Billy Bremner. So just for me, the history of it, and driving up to Elland Road, you've got the Bremner statue and all that as well. So it's like, yeah, this is a big deal.
When you played it, you loved it, mate, didn't you?
Oh, that's probably my favourite stadium. I played in Dundee.
Was it?
We scudded them 3-0, that's probably why, but...
Did you? Was that the tap they were wearing? It was that long ago?
No, it was House. No, it was that. They got promoted that year. So when they got promoted that year, we finished third, they finished second.
And we signed Billy Painter after you then, eh?
Billy came, how was he?
Well, that's what I'm saying about that dressing room, mate.
Madness.
Bonkers.
Billy, he's a big one for the toothbrush up there.
He, Simon Grayson was the manager and the likes of horses. Billy Painter obviously found this out. And he said to Simon, he went, you like horses, didn't you? Simon's, aye. He's like, aye, I've got one. I've got my own horse. Simon's like, have you? He's like, aye, I had it out last week riding it, you want to see it? Simon's, aye. He get his phone out. Simon Grayson thinks he's going to have a look at Billy Painter on a horse. He's on a rocking horse, bollock naked, shouting, yeah!
What did Grayson do?
I don't know, but he probably just shook his head and walked away. Just left him to it.
Mate, imagine doing that, you Kappa.
Mate, Billy Painter is the best guy you'll ever meet in your life.
What, so you played your one off?
I was at Swindon the year before, man.
He was
Took me under his wing.
Anything like that, mate, any other?
Told you, that was him that ran the last length to full Cheltenham naked.
Aye.
While the Cheltenham races are going on?
Finished, the racing finished, we're in the box, he's like 100 quid ahead, I'll go down, I'll get in the toilet, I'll take my clothes off and I'll run the last length naked.
No, right.
And me watching him from the box, filming him, mate.
See the best thing about it? See when he jumped back out after it, and he put all his clothes back on. That's when all the fucking police and that started going past and he's stonning with his pint.
No, he got back up to the box standing, mate, and we've seen police running about trying to find him, pissing himself laughing at the top. Billy's a hero, mate.
Did you get him on?
Oh, he'd be amazing. That was him that broke, he got, I stayed with Scott Cuthbert. Remember Big Scotty?
Cuff, aye.
So he's like that to me, Scotty gave me a key and he's like, let me cut your key for his house. And me being like a young boy, terrified him. She's 6'2", mate, and he can fucking go. I'm like, Billy, no, okay. I know he's going to do something. He's like, give us the fucking key, lad. Takes the key off, goes, gets it cut, comes back, keys it. Every day for training, he'd leave early, go to Scotty's house. Started off with just like pouring his milk out in his fridge and putting it back in. So Scotty would come back, we'd come back for training, Scotty would go, I'm sure there was milk in the fridge when we left here this morning. Next thing he'd leave like a shite in his ensuite. Scotty would come back like, did you do a shite in my ensuite? And I was like, no. So the next thing we go up to Glasgow, Billy's like, tell me what time you're getting back into Bristol lad. Billy's got a wife and 2 kids, mate. Sunday night. We get back through Scotty's door, mate. Billy's waiting in his living room with a balaclava and a knife like that. Scotty fucking shits himself. Billy takes his balaclava. No, that was another one. Came back, there was a porn on the telly. Came back for train. He was leaving training early every day, got back for train. Billy left a porn on the telly. Be like, how the fuck's there a porn on the telly?
Oh, my missus must have been really
Oh, mate, Billy is a funny guy, man, isn't he?
Him and Snod together were just constant.
They're good pals now, they do the agency stuff.
What were they just terrorising boys in the dressing room?
Aye, like I say, just stupid things, the toothbrushes and that.
Was Kasper Schmeichel there?
Aye, yeah.
How was he?
Go
on, say it.
No, because nothing good or bad to say about it. He didn't really.
Like,
he didn't. He kept himself to himself, but he was phenomenal.
Was he?
Aye. I used to steal all his Adidas gear. I've never seen him to get as much stuff sent for a sponsor. Mate, big massive box after big massive box, and the kit man had to put it in the back of the laundry room. So Kasper would obviously live in Manchester, I think it was at the time. So any time he went home or whatever, I'd just go in and see what was there. Couple of t-shirts and that.
Did you ever meet his dad?
No.
Never.
No.
Was he good? Was he good? Could you tell he'd go to like a higher level?
Aye, mate, it's phenomenal.
Was he brilliant?
Aye. He's the only keeper that I've seen that when the ball gets rolled back to him, and he's got to take a bit off it, mate, because I think he could go
out the stadium.
Aye, without bouncing.
Craigan.
No, sorry, this is the one I've been excited to put. Simon Grayson signs you but then leaves. Neil Warnock. Come on, we need stories in this guy.
Well, his first game, obviously he signed Diouf, right? But Neil Warnock's first game in charge, we had an absolute riot in the tunnel with Doncaster because I was fighting with Diouf. Everyone ended up involved, fitness coaches, all the rest of it. We all had to go to...
Why were you fighting with Diouf?
He was just a bell end on the pitch, mate. He was saying stupid things like, I'll shag your mum, I'll shag your sister and all that, like, do you know what I mean? And then see as we were walking off the pitch,
it's so mature, but
mate, honestly, see when we were walking off the pitch, he put his arm around me and he's saying, oh, why are you always getting involved? I was like, what do you mean, me getting involved? You fucking idiot, what are you on about? You saying mad things? He's like, so I went to like just sort of push him away, but as I pushed him, he had his arm around me, so as I pushed him away, as his arm was coming back, he's just put his finger in my eye and gouged it, mate. Right at the edge of it. That was it, mate, all kicked off. We had to go to the police station and that to give statements. That was Warnock's first game in charge.
No way.
Yeah, and then he ended up signing Diouf. He pulled me into his office saying that he's got a chance to sign him. Would that be alright if he signed him?
What was Warnock doing when you was fighting in the tunnel? Because he loves all that stuff, didn't he?
I've no idea, mate.
Was he in amongst it?
No chance, mate. No chance.
Any good team talks that you remember, Phil?
He just used to do mad things, mate. Like, remember Jerome Thomas, the winger?
Good player.
Came on, great player. Came on loan from, I think, West Brom at the time, just before Christmas. It was freezing in Leeds, mate, snowing and everything. Jerome Thomas has come out with every single layer of clothing you could possibly have on. Skins, shorts, trousers, fucking Arsene Wenger jacket. He had a hang on, he had a snood up to here, a scarf on, honestly, he had everything on. And Neil Warnock just looked at him and went, oh, is it too cold for you? And he went, freezing, boss, and put it back up. He said, just get yourself in the jacuzzi and that, just make sure you're all right for tomorrow. He was man of match the next day.
That's genius, Tom.
Aye. Man of match.
I think that's fucking
genius.
genius.
So?
No now, but back in the days, like, treating your star player like that was...
But boys could take the...
So he did the same with Tarato, mate, didn't he? He won on the championship.
Aye. But other boys could go the
Fuck
opposite.
Other boys, man, you're not as good as him.
But mate, we came in for training that day with icicles hanging from our nose and all that, and he's sitting with his feet up in the jacuzzi.
Are you raging?
Warnock's next to him,
no raging, like happy that he let him do it. But I think Lee Peltier as well, we're 4-0 up second game of the season in the cup, and it's like 91st minute, so he turns round, and usually the assistant manager would say, Ross, go get ready, you're going on, something like that. But Warnock turns round and goes, lads, budge in. So we're all on the dugout like that, and Warnock goes, who gets appearance money? Nobody puts their hands up apart from Lee Peltier. So Lee Peltier puts his hand up and Warnock goes, how much? And he goes, £2,000, boss. And he goes, all right. So it's £1,000 after tax, 500 each I put you on.
I love that.
Literally, Pelts walked on laughing, the final whistle went.
That's amazing.
That was on the Saturday. Monday morning, assistant manager chaps the door. Pelts, gaffer wants to see you. No worries. Anyway, he went up, and the gaffer went through Pelts because he didn't get any appearance money in the cup. So he fined him £500.
That's genius, man. Could he crack up as well?
Aye, mate, but it was funny when he shouted it. See, just because of the way he is, it's funny when he shouts at you. But you play with Portsmouth, didn't you?
Yeah.
So the away dressing room is not great. It's not great.
School, innit?
But I was obviously number 44, so I was right next to the coaching staff. And this was his proper first game in charge after the Doncaster game. We drew nothing each down there. And we came in after the game and he said his team talking and he jumped in the shower. And the lads were scared of him still at this point, didn't want to move. So he comes back out the shower, and obviously I'm number 44, I'm right next to the coaching staff. The coaching staff are still standing at the door, so it's just him. Fucking hell, mate. He's there. He's got one leg up on the bench drying his arse. Next thing he's got 2 fingers full of piles cream, mate. His arsehole's right next to my face, mate, full of piles creams. Sorry, I turned around, mate, his arsehole's there like that, just full of cream. That's ridiculous. Oh my God.
Like that. He got up with the pale cream.
Honest to God.
Did you like him on again?
But the worst thing was I didn't know he was doing it, and I can't remember who it was that was sitting next to me. He's gave me the old, you know, when you get the tap on the knee for the other side, and I went, what is it? He went, hey, look at him. I've turned, mate, fucking nearly had a nose full of cream.
Want you to stick it on with your nose?
Just get a wee rub for him.
He brought Paddy Kenny in, didn't he?
Aye.
What were they two like together?
He loves Paddy Kenny. He put his pale cream on for him, didn't he, Paddy Kenny? His gloves on.
signed him.
His gloves on. Get your gloves on, Paddy.
Yeah, I did this finger save so he doesn't lose a finger.
Paddy Kenny played the rest of the game. He's lost a finger up on his arse. How was it? How was Diouf when he eventually came here?
Phenomenal, mate.
Was he?
Oh, hilarious. Like, mate, I don't know how, mate. I've actually forgot a load of stories about him. But like, he walked into the physio room one day, and the guy was in it, cuts you, does your toes, chiropodist. Anyway, Diouf's thing every morning was shaking your hand, saying good morning. So he used to shake everybody's hand. We went into the physio room one day and the chiropodist was in, and went to shake his hand, and the guys come up, shook his hand and says, oh, I'm Tony, what's your name? And Diouf went, my name? You don't have a TV? Just walked back out.
Big time.
Just pure big time shouts, mate. But they were hilarious. Hilarious, mate.
Good player.
He brought in his African Player of the Year magazines and put them above his place in the training ground and that.
What, he put them on his place so you could see them?
So we could see it, aye.
Was he a good player?
Aye, mate, technically. Best first touch I've seen.
Has he?
Yeah. With any part of his body as well. You zing it to him, he'll just go tap on his chest and it'll just die.
Mate, people forget he ripped the World Cup up, mate.
He kind of get classed as a World Cup signing though, didn't he, when he was at Liverpool?
I think the only reason it didn't happen for him at Liverpool was probably because Carragher and Gerrard didn't really take it.
They weren't having him at all, were they?
Yeah.
How flash was he, like, in terms of his motors and clothes that he'd wear?
I thought you were going to say running, mate. Fucking hell, I've seen Milk turn quicker.
What, did he not run there?
No, no interest in running, mate. No interest. But
you see why Gerrard and Carragher when they take to him?
Yeah.
So what you talking about? He's there running drill and he would just jog it?
To be fair, we didn't do much running under Neil Warnock, but he just wasn't fit.
Sorry, I can't get that piles thrown out my head.
Did you ever get a pint when you were? Did you ever come out with the boys for a pint?
I thought you said a pile there.
With Neil Warnock.
Did you ever get a beer with him there?
No, mate. We did one time actually. I don't know if anyone's ever said it, but any club he's go to Cornwall pre-season,
right?
But that's only because he lives there. So you stay in a hotel and he stays in his house. And at the end he invites the squad and the coaching staff to his house for a barbecue. Quite cool actually. He's got three golf holes in his garden as well, like par threes.
Has he?
Aye.
He's been really successful, mate, as a manager though, hasn't he? A lot of promotions,
I can see why he gets a lot of success because of the things that he does for them. Even like with Michael Brown. If we played Saturday, we would be off Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, and then off Wednesday, and then in Thursday, Friday. But he would say to Brownie after the game, Brownie, you know, because Brownie, I think Brownie had a place in Dubai. He's saying, if you want that extra Tuesday in Dubai, son, mere dough, mate, aye. Brownie gave him a couple of £100 and it'd be off Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then the Thursday.
But it's quite genius, isn't it?
And do you know his
If
reason?
you're not going to be a good coach, you'll be like an average coach, then you've got to find other ways, mate, haven't you?
Find a way. And do you know what, that one when he took the money off Brownie, what he used to say? When the lads were laughing, because he would say it so openly. He'd go, Aston Martin doesn't fill itself up, lads.
Mate, and you scored 19 goals under him, didn't you, that season?
Yeah. But to be fair, most of them were before he came in.
Was it?
Aye, I think I maybe scored 3 under him because I got moved to right and left midfield. Yeah, I didn't.
That's nothing to do with him then.
Nah, I didn't
But
really.
it's not because you ended up with piles for the last 3 months of the season.
On my nose.
Oh, amazing. 20 goals under Brian McDermott as well. Leeds struggling, finished 15th. How hard is it when you're obviously at a massive club at Leeds, you're doing really well, but you're not reaching the potential that the club should be at? Is there a part that you want to stay, but also parts think I need to go and play higher? Because the fans loved you as well, mate.
Yeah, I didn't openly want to sort of leave until I did. I did have chances, but I think with it being such a massive club, that probably helped the fact that I didn't want to go, because if it was any other club, say you were at a, no disrespect, but like a, I don't know, a Hull or something,
exactly.
something like that.
No, I see it.
There is a bit of a difference in stature, do you know what I mean? So probably if I was at a smaller club, I'd probably have made more noise to try and get to the Premier League, but I was happy here. So to answer that, I never really felt as if I wanted to go higher because I was happy here.
What did you love so much about?
Just everything, mate. Playing at Ellen Road.
Thatcher the club, Ellen Road.
That's it, yeah.
Are the fans brilliant at Leeds?
Yeah, phenomenal, mate. Phenomenal. Even now that I go to the game and do a little bit of work and stuff, you get to watch the game. One of the best atmospheres I've ever heard was last season when they beat Leicester at Ellen Road.
That was incredible.
I've never heard anything like it. The full stadium was like dancing.
I
don't just mean like, I mean dancing. It was mental. They're a special support.
Amazing. And then you choose Fulham. Well,
you just keep going.
And then you choose Fulham, mate. And the Championship was in the Premier League interest at that time.
Yeah, and this was the same problem I had when I left Fulham to go to Villa as well. And that the Championship clubs that wanted me were willing to offer the club more money than the Premier League teams were. So it was either go to another Championship team or stay where you are.
Can you name the Premier League teams?
Newcastle was one.
Wow.
Yeah. Malaga was another in Spain, obviously.
Wow.
Malaga was actually quite close. No, I don't mean in terms of location. I mean like
happening.
It's I think £6 or £7 million, and at that point my missus' mum and dad had a place in Marbella. So we're obviously thinking, fucking hell, don't even need to find a house right away. Like we know where we're going to live. And then Fulham sort of came out of nowhere and just went boom, 11 million. There you go.
11 million quid.
Who was the, sorry mate, just to go back, who was the Newcastle manager?
Don't even know.
Was that one Newcastle the size of club you think about really gone there?
No, not really. Because I knew that wasn't going to be, I think that was only like 5 million or something. I knew that wasn't going to be enough anyway.
To get to Leeds. See, when an offer comes in at 11 million quid, like, what does that feel like?
Well, I knew at that time that was the record for the league. So it was a big deal. But I don't know, I still felt as if Leeds wouldn't let me go. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because we were so poor the season before, but I'd done personally well in terms of numbers, goals and assists. I thought that they would have tried to sell other people, and I think I had 4 years left in my contract.
Wow.
So I thought it was going to be hard to leave, but then they accepted the bid. And
did you get a last game at Ellen Road for the fans to like say goodbye, or was it just off straight away?
Straight away, aye. I wasn't even allowed to train pre-season.
Yeah, I don't want to go into too much, but if you're going for 11 million quid, I think the wage you're going on.
No, 100%. How was the reaction though for the Leeds fans when you leave?
Bad, mate.
Towards you?
Aye.
Surely they must have understood, don't they?
No. But they didn't realise at the time how bad the club was as well. And I've said it openly now that if I didn't leave at that point in time, the club were in serious danger.
So your money obviously helped towards helping them.
So they'd sacked the kitchen staff. People were bringing in packed lunches. Staff weren't getting paid. Players weren't getting paid. They had no dough, mate. They had absolutely no money. It was that bad that they were protecting their asset. When I came in first day pre-season, you know, you walk out in your trainers, you carry your boots. The manager at the time had just been appointed, David Hockaday, his name is. He actually pulled me and said, you'll not be needing any of them. I said, how? Because you're not allowed to train. The owner said you're not allowed to train. Because he wanted to make sure that I didn't get injured to get that money.
You get the money to go to Fulham.
And then when I left, he came out and says that I refused to train.
That's the worst, isn't it? See that?
Just try to cover the back. I understand why he said it, but I think that's why I got a rough ride for the fans, because they believed that rather than the facts. You know what I mean?
And then you got to Fulham, obviously. How was that living in London and playing at right at Chelsea, near Chelsea, isn't it? Right, the river?
Yeah, mate, yeah.
Beautiful, man.
But you can't stay there, it's too busy, mate.
Where'd you end up staying?
So I stayed in the outskirts, so like Surrey.
Surrey, right.
And to be fair, the training grounds in Surrey as well. It's the training grounds know where the stadium is. It's like over New Malden in Surrey. So I lived up on Kingston Hill, which is a really nice part of the world.
Only me and you have played at Craven Cottage, so you're maybe better just leaving this bit.
It'd be better after just fucking good in the car
anyway.
After that Motherwell
Not
patch.
because you said it to say it like Davey, but...
See the Felix Magath, was he the manager? How was he?
He was ledge, mate.
Was he?
Oh, Penfold, that's what we used to call him. Have you searched Penfold on your phone with the big thick glasses?
Glasses,
Aye,
that's Buddha,
that's what we used to call him. But
mate, he's meant to be strict as fuck.
But I mean, he was strict. He was strict in terms of weight. Do you know what I mean? But in terms of other things like eating, and he wouldn't be like one of them that would take the ketchup away and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? But he was
weighed every day.
Every couple of days, I think. Aye.
Right.
Well, me, I get fucking weighed 3 times a day, I think.
Who's the big players there, mate, at Fulham, were you?
There was loads, mate. When I first walked into that squad, there was loads. But it was a broken squad. Like, for talking sake, Stecklenburg, the goalie, remember him?
Yeah.
Aye.
Well, he had to have left the training ground by the time we got there at 8 in the morning. He'd been that.
Has he been bombed?
He'd been bombed that much, yeah.
Wow. Scotty Parker was a bit, what a player.
Yeah, mate. But even
He one of the best you played with?
he's very, very good, aye. Yeah.
Him and Modric at Tottenham are brilliant together, I thought.
Yeah, well, we beat him with Leeds. Beat him in the FA Cup at Ellen Road, aye. Yeah.
Score?
Yeah, the winner.
Wow.
But
Big games,
yeah, that
mate.
was them two, aye.
And then obviously one of the worst players that were there, and probably one that was weighed 5 times a day, Jamie O'Hara.
Aye.
The meatball.
We love Jamie O'Hara, mate. He's so much.
Aye, do you know
How
what?
was he then?
He was alright.
He's a
But I
prick,
tell you what, he had some ability, to be fair.
Did he?
Aye,
We
he
need
could
to like
play.
that.
I think
kind of gun.
No,
I think
no
the
way.
first 4 or 5 games of the season he was brilliant, and then he blew up.
As in his weight.
Wait.
Both.
Did you go on with him? After
Aye, alright, mate, aye. Alright.
Don't know.
I
I
dunno.
think there's more to that, yeah.
No, there's no. There's honestly no. It was just one of them where I didn't. It wasn't my mate. It was my teammate. You probably had them. Do you know what I mean? You've not got anything good to say or anything bad to say.
We'll just go through a list of managers. So Kit Simons was there as well. Peter Grant.
Granty, unbelievable guy.
Aye, good guy.
Yeah, very, very good
Good
guy.
way.
Mate. Yeah, very good.
McAfee.
Mhm.
Stuart Gray, and the one I really liked him, and I thought he would do really. He played amazing football in the Champions League. He said, "You can have it."
yeah.
These were brilliant under him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think he was there for the last 6 months that I was there. And to be fair, I didn't see them getting promoted. I just didn't see it. We finished fucking 16th or 17th in the championship or something. And then when I left, I think they probably used the money well. And he started getting his own players in, and that's when you knew he was a decent manager, but I didn't think that he was going to be able to get a squad together to get promoted, or else I would have stayed.
Yeah. I just wanted to ask you about the atmosphere. 'Cause Kevin McDonald's been on, and he says he went to hit a corner at Fulham once, and he turned and looked behind the goal, and there was a guy reading a book, drinking a glass of Prosecco.
Is there?
It's on their podcast.
Did
mate.
you find that?
Not really, mate. No, the only weird thing that I found was they've got a mixed stand behind the goal.
Aye, I don't
Away
know
fans and
that
home
at all.
fans.
That's bizarre,
Can
mate,
you
innit?
imagine that Ellen Road?
That's what I'm saying. How did that compare atmosphere-wise for Island Road to...
It didn't, but they were good fans, to be fair. They came in their numbers. I don't get that one with the... Well, I definitely didn't see him reading a book or drinking Prosecco.
Lovely place to play football, wasn't it? Craven
beautiful,
Cottage.
mate. Beautiful.
Did you meet the owner?
Big
Is it Al Fayed?
Tash? No, I was too late. You got to talk about the black card that... They all had a black card
at Harrods.
Harrods, aye. It was like 40-50% off.
Yeah,
How do you look back at your time at Fulham, mate?
Fondly, mate. As I say, my youngest was born down there as well. So, very well. And as I say, a lot of people always think that I was, because I get on so well with folk here at Leeds and stuff, that must have been the best time of your career. But in terms of form and football-wise, Fulham was by far the best I ever played.
Was it? Huh?
Oh, easy, mate.
What do you put that down to?
Good nightlife.
Was it? Where would you go in London? Remember Doll's House?
Chelsea, mate. Kings Road in Chelsea.
That is a beautiful life, isn't it? Earning a few quid.
London.
But then even like Libertine and places like that in the central.
Did you ever, I like to know this, did you ever see any big names, like as in celebrity-wise, when you were out in London?
Jamie O'Hara.
You meet always it, man.
You see he was handing it the deodorant in the toilet, ain't you? That wee bastard. Did you ever see like movie stars or anybody cutting about London?
I was going to say the last time I seen him, he was greeting him Big Brother.
Mourinho kicks about there, innit? That's where he stays, Chelsea, innit?
Well, his son's in at Fulham. See, I'll tell you about Mourinho as well, mate. Met him a couple of times when he came into the training ground. Weird as anything. He knows every single player's name, even though his son's only under... At the time, I think he would have been under 14s or something. He'd shake your hand like, how are you, Ross? Come to you, how are you, Simon? Not me. Aye, ridiculous.
Was his boy any good?
I don't know, he was a goalkeeper.
Oh.
I don't know if he was good, but obviously took an interest in absolutely everything, meticulous. You know what I mean?
Wow. And mate, how does the Villa move come about?
Yeah, just two sort of bad seasons at Fulham.
2 bad seasons for the club, you mean?
In terms of where we finished in the league, aye.
But you were flying, mate, weren't you?
Yeah.
Obviously, Villa coming in for you.
But then I didn't...
Championship was a piece of piss for you, mate, wasn't it?
Not to sound big-headed, but always felt, especially when I was at Fulham, that every single game I played in, I was going to assist or score. But it wasn't a piece of piss, you know what I mean? It's a tough, demanding league, but always...
The thing is as well, it's a physically demanding league. It's like, no, you're not the biggest guy, innit?
Yeah, I know, but what is it? A couple of people called me a couple of times robust.
Wee barrel.
Basically means fat, innit? Is that what it means? I don't know. But no, I was able to. I don't know. I think them 2 seasons at Fulham, I probably played nearly every single game.
And the thing is about him as well, mate, it was never tappings, wasn't it? The goals were always worldies.
I remember it, mate. You were absolutely flying at that time.
Favourite goals, favourite moments, games, Fulham?
For Fulham, scored a hat-trick at home to Nottingham Forest, all 3 for outside the box, and my dad was in the cottage watching it, so...
Oh, amazing.
And it was at the goal where the...
Tim drinking Prosecco reading the book, wasn't it? That's brilliant. It must be amazing watching your son doing it at Craven Cottage, eh?
And then Villa, mate, how does that come about?
As I said, just in terms of where we finished in the league at Fulham, I just felt as if at that point, I think I might have been 30, something like that, maybe 29, 30. I thought, I'm never going to play in the Premier League here. I need to take another gamble.
This is your time now to go.
Take another gamble. And Villa were saying they were going to come in and they didn't come in, and then Norwich got the bid accepted first from Fulham.
But going to Norwich.
I knew I wasn't going there, mate. Just, you know how you play the game. Yeah, put a bid in, I'll come, and then as soon as the bid got accepted, Villa knew what the bid had to be. And they came in, it got accepted, and I went there. I thought I'd have, the squad they were building at that point in time.
Who did you see that was there that...
They'd signed like Tommy Elphick for Bournemouth, they had signed Mili Jedinak, James Chester.
That's right.
And then all the players that were still there, like Carlos Gill, Alan Hutton, that was Jordan Ayew, who just went to Leicester. They signed Kodja for 12 million, Scott Hogan for 12 million. Like, it was just a ridiculous squad, but yeah, it didn't never happened there.
Does the manager talk to you before you go there? Like, does the manager tell you, this is where I see you playing, this is how you're going to fit in?
No, mate. I don't think the manager at Aston Villa signed me, Di Matteo. I think it was the owner.
Right.
Because as I say, when I was playing striker for Leeds and striker for Fulham, as soon as I went to Aston Villa, I was playing as a number 10. So it put a lot of pressure on me right away in terms of the fans expect you to hit certain numbers
But
straight
you're not
away.
playing where you were
I'm
playing.
not playing where I'm playing, so I'm learning a new position in a new team, not getting as many chances as maybe I did before. So it was quite difficult to start.
How did you find him, Matteo, as a manager and as a guy?
Won a Champions League, didn't he?
I with Chelsea, aye.
Again, he's just one of the managers that nothing good or nothing bad to say. I just never really had a connection with
Was
him.
he a good coach? Was he?
No, well, Steve Clark was his assistant manager.
That's right.
So he basically took most of the training and stuff, and Di Matteo would just come in every now and then if he had to say something. But
How was Clark's training, mate?
good, mate.
Was it?
Was it defensive?
No, really. But trust me, I've thought about that a million times. I know where you're going with it as well. You're thinking because of how Scotland play. But I don't know, I think he was maybe a wee bit more loose when he was at Aston Villa as an assistant manager.
Right.
In terms of it's no his job to set up the team, so just put on good sessions.
Right.
Not
See, like then shape or like passes of play, who would take that? Di Matteo or Clark?
Di Matteo, mate.
Right.
Yeah.
And that was he an attacking thinking manager, Di Matteo?
He was probably leaning towards attacking. We played some good football. The problem at that point was we just conceded a lot of late goals, either to then become a draw or become a defeat. And he was only, I think, 8 or 9 games and then gone. Yeah.
Even at that Villa Park's amazing to play.
What a place.
It's pristine as well. See you inside it when you go into the lounges and stuff, and even in the tunnel, you think like it must get a makeover every fucking 3 weeks. It's that pristine, mate.
Is it?
Yeah.
Did you find it a different pressure, mate, going and playing at Villa?
No.
No.
Nah, just the same, mate. It was the same league. I think the only pressure is when I went there, you're looking at that squad and you're thinking, right, we've got to get promoted now. We're a squad.
Mm-hmm.
But we weren't really anywhere near it, to be honest. Especially with that start.
How much you got a Villa for?
12.
A lot of dollars.
Some transfer fees, that, mate.
Yeah.
People talk about like transfer fees affecting people as well. Again, did that come into it for you or?
Nah, because you don't get any anyway, so it's that kind of. I always even say now when people go for a lot of money, like, fuck out day with him. You're worth what somebody wants to pay for you. You know what I mean?
And then Big Brucey comes in.
Like Brucey, aye.
How is
He's
he?
definitely got piles. He's there. You got any of that pile cream?
I definitely didn't get close enough to see it. Apart from he's trying to get over my gate, his ass fell out.
It's like his arse through your gates.
Hey, that's cracking, isn't it? Oh, man.
That's cracking.
Talk
about his arse.
His arse is a cracker. How was Brucey when he first comes in, when he talked to the team? How did you find him?
Alright, mate, I actually started his first game in charge. I think it was at home to Wolves. I played the first 65 minutes, drew one each. I played Grealish through and he won the penalty, so it was alright. And I think he'd actually tried to sign me before, maybe once or twice when he was at Birmingham,
Right.
maybe somewhere else, can't remember.
Hull maybe? Would that have been the Hull one?
No, Phil Brown was the
Was it
manager at
Phil?
Hull. Remember Bullard?
That's right.
It's that one, innit?
Can't believe you're just bringing up Grealish now. Like, how was he?
Mate, I just don't. I don't know. I think it's because I didn't really have a good time at Aston Villa. I don't really talk
Never
about
really
it.
built any sort of relationships
No,
with people.
mate, even off the pitch. I mean, you know, Tony Capaldi, and he lived down there. Luckily, he did because, it was just a bizarre time, mate.
Do you think you're that type of guy, Roscoe? If it isn't going well for you on the pitch, it's hard to. Are you a different guy off the pitch? Does it affect you when you're not playing well?
Mate, I wouldn't leave the house in Birmingham unless I could get drunk.
Really?
Yeah, bad, mate, bad.
Why was it just...
It was bad, mate. Oh, well, like I was obviously personally going through a divorce and stuff, and a lot of things happened, like diagnosed with depression, all the rest of it. And then every single day there was something new in the press about me, about fucking my gate, and the owner tweeting to X amount of people on Twitter saying, we know Ross is struggling, it's time to be a man and stand up, and just all sorts, mate, all sorts. So I was very much in my head thinking that the Aston Villa fans fucking hate me here, so I'm not going out unless I can forget about all that. Do you know what I mean? So it was just a weird time. That's why, listen, I got on really well with Jack. I got on really well with a few different people at Aston Villa. But I just never talk about it.
Were you like that your full career, Roscoe, or was it only at Aston Villa that you started to feel like that?
Only Aston Villa. Aston Villa, mate.
And did you see when you started to feel that depression, is that when you turned and started drinking a lot?
No, mate, I wasn't drinking any more than I was doing when I was at Fulham or Leeds.
Mm-hmm.
When you feel like that off the pitch, it's so hard to do well on it.
Yeah, you can't.
Just can't shake it.
I hear a lot of people now talking about that brain fog and all the rest of it, and I completely get it, because you can't focus if your head's no right. But that's why I still believe that clubs can do a lot more for, especially younger players, but players in general.
Was there days where you just didn't want to go to training? Most days.
Aye, mate, I didn't want to train, but it didn't mean I didn't go to training. I just went in and tried
Put on a front on.
I tried to, mate. Aye, and then went back to the house, mate, and just sat.
Hey, did you see through this? Did you speak to Steve Bruce about it and let him know how you're feeling? And
mate, they knew. So see, before the whole gate thing, the first time I brought it up, I went into training, and it was international break. I pulled the club doctor, club captain, and the assistant manager into the office, and I broke down in tears. I said, I'm struggling, I'm depressed as fuck, I'm going through a divorce, I've not seen the kids. Oh, get yourself home for a couple of days, try and see the kids. Couldn't get me out of the place quick enough. That was like a Tuesday or something. Then Thursday I came in, the manager called me into his office, Brucey. How are you? I says, I'm struggling. Really bad place. He says, I know, that's why it's hard to do what I'm going to do. And I'm thinking, what are you going to do? We'll fine you 2 weeks' wages. I said, what for? He says, oh, you were a mess, you were too drunk to train. I went, first of all, it was me that said I was a mess, and I gave you the reasons why that was. I meant my head was a mess, because I've not seen the kids, I'm going through a divorce.
Yeah.
2 weeks' wage fine, mate.
Hell, man. So
see, when you say, oh, why do people not open up about things, it's hard for me to go, aye, they probably should open up, because when I did, that's what happened.
They used it kind of against you.
And that obviously was your and his relationship done when that happened.
More or less, mate. Aye, yeah.
And then does the gate thing come after this?
That comes after, aye. But I still say you could have got past the gate thing, but personally,
you obviously couldn't get past it because you couldn't get it.
I could do. Aye, yeah, you're right. To be fair, I think somebody said it was 4 foot tall. It's about 1.5 foot taller than me. But I think you could have got past that. But the problem that we had was, that was like on the Monday or the Tuesday or something, right? We were playing Preston on the Saturday and we're 2-0 up in the 90th minute and conceded twice. So the first question in the press interview to the manager was, McCormack wasn't in the squad, why? So I think he's trying to take the heat off the team and put it onto me. But then obviously it just went.
Was that when he first says the gate thing, after the 2-2 draw?
After that 2-2 draw, yeah.
So you just sit in your house, you've just looked at 2-2, you've not thought anything, and then, but when do you find out he said this to your phone?
Phone's blown up, aye.
That's horrible.
And then I think obviously it went completely
Viral,
off the
mate.
scale after that, and it just went too far then, didn't it? There was no going back.
And
but I
the
think if
fans
the
and that
Preston
was
game didn't happen, I think probably he might have fined me.
So if he's won 2-0, then nothing would
I think he might have fined me a week's wage or whatever and forgot about it.
So what was the story to it? Did you not make it in, or did you just use that as an excuse?
No, so basically I was renting Joe Bennett, the left back, Joe Bennett. I was renting his house because my apartment that I had bought wasn't ready to move into yet. So I was renting his house. And every day when I drove up, I had to get out the car and manually open the gate. It's a big iron gate. It's not 4 foot tall, it's about 6.5, 7 foot tall. Manually open it, drive in, and then manually close it. But one morning I woke up and I went to manually open it, and it just wouldn't move. So I was like, fucking hell, what am I going to do here? So if you've got a problem, you phone the club doctor. So I phoned the club doc and says, oh, doc, I've got a problem. My gate won't open, but I'm just going to call a company and wait on them to come round to basically open it so I can drive and get to training. All right, don't worry about it, no problem. It got to about 10:25, we're training at 10:30, and I thought, I need to phone the gaffer, fucking hell. So I phoned him and I was just about to say, I said gaffer, it's Roscoe. Then I was just about to say, I'm still waiting on that company coming, but I didn't get a chance to. Just flew off the hook down the phone. You think you can take the piss out of this fucking club? It's not the first time you've not showed up to training, all that stuff. And that was it, mate. it was done for there.
And then do you speak to him after it's came out that he said the gate stuff when your phone's blown up? Do you then phone him?
Nah, mate.
You never spoke to him again?
No.
And was that you done at Villa after that?
That was me done. I went on loan to Nottingham Forest more or less probably a few weeks after that.
Oh, that's mad, isn't it?
But I say it could have been easily fixed. So that's the one regret that I have got, probably looking back on the football career, because that in a sense has finished my career. So my career's finished not when I wanted it to, but when something else has decided it. Do you know what I mean?
Do you think people for that time, do you think people looked at you differently for that time?
Probably, mate.
Maybe
aye.
clubs and that, maybe thinking about taking
Aye.
you or...
Well, I couldn't get another club after it, mate. They obviously thought bad egg, but I'm not being funny. Like, I was the captain of Leeds, captain of Fulham.
Yeah.
You don't get that if you're a bad egg, do you? But yeah, it was just that's why I don't really talk about Aston Villa and stuff. So.
And this is the thing, people look at price tags, look at money you're earning, but see when you feel
Don't
like
matter,
that,
mate.
mate, it doesn't matter, does it?
Doesn't matter, mate.
When did you start to feel better, mate?
About a year and a half ago, mate.
Took you that long, did it? So it affected you for that long?
Mate, years. Yeah, bad for years.
God's sake.
But as I say, I think there's plenty more that clubs can do. PFA as well. Like, I actually spoke to the PFA when I was at Aston Villa. They sent me to a psychiatrist and stuff. But then after that, I didn't have any contact with the PFA no more. Just sent you to a psychiatrist, and that was it.
Is that why you went to Australia, mate? Was it because no clubs would take you, or was it to get away from here?
No, a bit of both. The only other sort of move that I, at that period of time, was I was going to go to Rangers on a season-long loan with Steven Gerrard. Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. And then the day that I was meant to go and do the medical and got and sign, they just stopped answering the phone to my agent. I don't know.
What do you think's happened there?
I don't know, mate. I mean, I've got an idea, but I'll probably keep it to myself. But I was literally going into training at Aston Villa to train with the under 16s or whatever it was, and then up to Glasgow to do a medical, but didn't answer the phone.
Might have been the best thing as well, going back up Glasgow, your family and that there.
Aye, well, I thought that, but then I went to Motherwell as well, mate, and that didn't help.
I don't know.
Nah, it didn't help, mate, no.
See, when you're down here and things aren't going right and you're on your own, I've had it, mate, it's genuinely the worst feeling ever, isn't it?
Well, what's
So far away from everyone.
Well, I think when I was struggling, I was going through the divorce with my ex at the time, and then shit was going wrong at Aston Villa, and then we had a lockdown, you weren't allowed to leave the house.
Oh, brutal, man.
There's actually nothing you can really do, is there?
Luckily I had a games room with a bar, mate. Just sat there and had a few beers like at night and stuff.
Invite Warnock round to stick the cream.
Played myself at pool. At least I wasn't getting beat.
Man, that's I can't believe that.
I know. Just shows you, doesn't it? Australia.
How did that come about, mate, the Australia one?
Melbourne City, Central Coast Mariners. Life must have been nice out there, so I know.
Melbourne, mate.
Beautiful.
Oh, and see, because the club I went to, Man City owned, so you got treated like, you know what I mean, they fly over first class with the Emirates and that. The apartment that they put you in, I mean, panoramic views, just pure glass right on the harbour and that, mate. It was incredible.
Amazing.
I didn't want to come back, but Villa brought me back. I would have stayed to do the full season, but I wasn't allowed to.
How was the standard of the football like?
It gets a lot of stick. But then I watched League 2 last night, Salford and...
MK, oh mate, I watched that.
Why
Salford and MK Dons?
MK Dons goalkeepers must have the most touches in the game.
I know.
Why did they not try and go forward?
It was a tough watch, that.
Yeah, but I watched that last night and I thought, because I knew you were going to ask about the standard of Australian football, it's not much worse than that.
Any players out there that stood out that you thought were good? That went on to maybe do well?
A few came over here. Remember Arzani went to Celtic?
Aye.
He got a bad injury, to be fair. He was really good.
Arzani, that's right.
I'm trying to think. Kyrol's at Hearts.
Aye.
He's done alright. Was
there any Scottish boys there, mate, when you were playing?
Nah, no, I don't think so. Monty, the guy at Snoddy pranked, he was the under 18s manager at Central Coast.
And then he got the job, didn't he?
And then he got the first team job, aye.
And then you go back to Villa. Is this right? Villa get promoted, so your money goes up, then you get a payoff?
I didn't actually get the pay rise because I'd left.
Oh,
nobody knows, but I'd actually left in the I'd left in I think it was April or something like that, before they went up. So
See, when you look back into all that, like the Villa stuff and that, is there a time where you maybe would have like, knowing what you know now, would you stayed at Fulham, would you stayed at Leeds, or are you happy with the decisions you made?
I don't think I would have stayed at Leeds as much as I love that club, but I'd certainly have stayed at Fulham.
Would you?
Yeah, not even just because they get promoted, but if I could see the way everything was going to go in terms of personal life and professional life, it was just a fucking disaster straight from the off. So if I could have seen that, there's no way I would have took the chance of going to Aston Villa.
Because so see, for any player that is kind of happy at a club and they've got that chance at a bigger move, like, would you give them a wee bit of advice or just be wary of? But again, everyone's always going
It
to
depends.
take the possibility.
There's
different reasons. I mean, I didn't leave Leeds to go to Fulham for extra money. I left because I looked at Fulham's squad, but then I didn't fucking learn from that mistake, because I done the exact same when I was leaving Fulham to go to Aston Villa. I looked at Villa's squad and thought, right, I'm not going to get to the Premier League here, so take the chance of going there. They're going to have a better opportunity. But I'd already made that mistake by doing that from Leeds to Fulham.
How do you look back at your whole career, mate, and what's the highlights that stand out for you?
I've got to be happy with it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I've got to be happy.
Mate.
Got to be happy with it. As I said a couple of minutes ago, the only thing I do regret is my career being ended by
someone else,
different circumstances, rather than me being
on your
finished.
terms, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
What age was that at Roscoe when that happened, Aston Villa?
Mate, I think I left Aston Villa and I was about 32 or something.
Wow.
Something like that. Nah, 32 or something. I
Still
think.
quite young.
Yeah. So that's the only thing that I do regret, but everything else, Scotland debut at Hampden, scored, Champions League debut, scored, top goal scorer in a championship. Got to be happy with it.
But the Piles thing must be the highlight.
I was going to say it's the best thing I've ever seen, but it's the worst thing.
Charlie was on, it was a few months ago, he was talking about a game you and Charlie played. It was for was it an amateur team?
Doncaster, aye.
How did that go?
Another fucking, they tried to stitch me up on the show as well, didn't they?
You're trying to phone you to do.
Aye. Phoned the manager, didn't he? What do you take me off for? Listen, I said I knew anyway. I wasn't there to play. I was there for other reasons. Do you know what I mean? To try and probably get a few fans through the thing, because it's not far for you. It's about half an hour for Leeds. I wasn't in any shape to play. I knew that. But it was good fun.
What about plans for the future, mate? What are you looking to say, more media work?
More media work. I also got a corporate events company which I own.
What's it called, mate? Is it?
Workplay United. So got an event coming up on the 29th of September. 5-a-side football up in Glasgow.
We'll play.
We'll get around.
20 teams. The winning team then goes over to Crete to the Corporate World Cup, free of charge, to represent Scotland.
Wow.
And
So anyone can play? Can we play?
As long as you're a company.
I think Warnock's Piles have got to be one of the prizes. I really do. I really do think I've got to be involved. Mate, honestly, what a career, innit, mate?
But mate, I'm just saying this, like, that was really good.
5-a-side, goalkeeper.
Goalkeeper,
outfield.
okay, I will go the guy at Rangers that could kick the ball with both. Vaterus.
Ronald Vaterus, great goal.
Vaterus, aye.
Remember him?
Because that's like an extra player at the back.
Yeah.
Defenders. So we'll go 2-1-2.
Play with two defenders.
Whatever you want.
That's 6-a-side then, innit?
Whatever you want.
That's why you're not doing the coaching, innit?
So 1-2.
1-1-2, 1-2-1.
One defender, 2 midfield and a striker, say.
Right, okay. So one defender, I will go John Terry.
Wow, Villa.
Aye.
How's he as a guy, mate, sorry?
All right. Sound. But as I say, it was
At that time,
at that
course,
time.
mate, aye.
He's obviously not listening to your answers fairly, I'm sorry.
No, just maybe there's one. Maybe there's one for that could be.
So 2 midfielders, I will go Barry Ferguson, Peter Whittingham.
Peter, I didn't even, you know Peter Whittingham?
Cardiff.
Oh, what a player he was.
Yeah.
What a
Do
player.
you know, that's probably, so take Tony Capaldi out of the equation, that's probably the only mate that I've got in football. Obviously not anymore, yeah, but yeah. So see, when everything started going wrong in that, mate, no one gets in touch. That's when you realise
Who your real pals are.
And he was one that did?
Aye, mate, we went to Marbella nearly every year.
Amazing.
Um,
Played against him. I thought he was great. He was
aye,
probably the best championship, one of the best championship players there's been.
But you look at him
midfielders.
and think, he's not that quick, so you can get close to him. But as soon as you get it, just pop it off.
In the corner,
and then you give him time, aye, mate, he was special. So him, Barry Ferguson, striker. I'd have to say Moles. Got to say Moles. Aye, and his copas are comfy.
And manager to
Got to be Warnock, innit? You behind the pillar waiting for her.
on the team lining up.
I'll give it. I've got to give it Warnock again for you guys, isn't it?
But no serious answer, was it Warnock?
No, is it fuck?
Who was best manager?
Brian McDermott, easy for me.
The guy who was at Hibs last year. He was the head of recruitment.
So he was the manager at Leeds when I obviously scored the most goals and stuff. He was brilliant, mate.
Amazing.
Brilliant.
Last ever starter, main course, dessert. What would you pick? That's his question. Starter.
Arancini balls.
Oh, lovely. Main meal.
Main course.
Warnock sauce.
What? That didn't taste great the last time. Undercooked, I think. Overcooked, I don't know. I'll probably go a bit of
see when he gets one hanglet Warnock's arse, he fucking loves it. You use that. Right, start main.
Oh, fucking hell. I'll probably go
the menu.
Main course a bit of sea.
Right, mate.
I'll go a bit of sea bass for the main, mate.
Sea bass. Oh,
a bit of sea bass.
And then dessert. Oh, fuck.
Dessert. Fucking. I'm going to go old school here because I'm no big on dessert. I'm going to go. See that cake that you used to get in school?
Oh, the lunch in the
aye,
school lunch.
Custard do it. Aye.
Ross McCormack, incredible.
What a hero.
Good lads.